Year. We up in here. Let me know what it sounded like. Let me know what it's looking like. You already know the vibes. You already know the vibes, man. Let me know what it's looking like. Let me know what it's sounding like. Okay, we good? Give me the thumbs up. Let me know we sounded good. We looking good. We looking crispy. You know what it is. I'm out here. You know how I do it when I do it. Let me know what's up, y'all. Let me know what's up. Let me know what's up. Joe Santiago, what's good with it? Eli, what's good? Realistic Raider fan, what's good? Joseph View, what's good? Fayo Face, what's good? Hugh, what's good? Chris Crane, what's good? You already know the boy Crispy. You already know the vibes when the honcho in the place to be. Steve Jones, Denver's the only team that can have 3 QBs and still not have a QB. Yeah, you already know. Jonathan Sanchez, what's good? Athens, Georgia in the house. I love Georgia, man. When I take road trips to Florida, man, I love Georgia. I love Georgia. Ryan Guns. Can't believe Carolina just gave Bridgewater to the Donks. Bad kitties. Who cares, man? It's Bridgewater. It's Bridgewater. Eli said, Honcho looking fresh, my boy. Oh, you already know. Something light. Yo, Doc's in the building. Yo, Doc's landed in Cleveland. And I said, there goes the neighborhood. There goes the neighborhood. When Doc's touched down, it's going down. Doc said, we drunk as fucking Cleveland. What other way is it to be in Cleveland, man? It's Cleveland. All they got is Drew Carey out there. What's good? We're going to let this fill up, man. We're going to let this fill up. We're going to let this fill up. Julius, what's up? Honcho, did you take Andy to your barber? Don't do that. That ain't that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Y'all don't know me like that. Don't do that. Docs is an army of one, man. Docs is a soldier. He said, yo, I'm out there. Dolly, what's up with it? That's how you know Cleveland Browns is soft. Yo, Docs Wiley, you already know what time it is, Docs. Docs out there, soldier, army of one. What's good with it? Put the nation on his back. Raphael, what's good with it? Yo, I got my executive producer back in the building. You know we got Sanjit on here tonight. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm with my brother. We literally, okay. He ain't a Browns fan though, right? Legit Ant, what's cracking? Who shot me? What it do, nation? Yeah, you already know. We 95 deep. Make sure you hit them likes. Herman, what's up? Honcho, take care of your producer. Yeah, I'm taking care of him, man. He was on the IR list. You know what I'm saying? He like Henry Ruggs. You know what I'm saying? It's a little breezy outside. He had to take a day off, but he back. He back with it. Yeah, Temp, you already know Doc's a real one. That's my guy, man. That's my guy. That's my man, 100 grand. Ryan Guns, appreciate the donation, man. Just paying respects, no questions yet. That's what's up, man. I thank you so much, man. That's what's up. Yo, guys, we here, man. It's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve. What kind of presents is going to be under the tree tomorrow? What kind of presents is going to be under the tree tomorrow? Let me know right now, man. Get in the chat. Let me know what kind of gifts you think John Gruden and Mayock are going to leave under that damn Raider Nation tree. Oh, where you get that Woodson painting from? Yo, that's my man Mo Fernandez, yo. That joint right there? Yo, check him out on Instagram, yo. I'll get his ad up here. Check him out, yo. He did that for me. That joint fire. You think they're going to give us reaches? Santa Gruden is coming to town? I don't know what I just started. Empty boxes. You already know. You already know, man. You already know. But I'm excited, man. This is my first, obviously, this is my first draft. Yo, Sanjit coming on the numbers. Calm down. He coming on. Damn. This is my first, obviously, it's my first draft situation as a content creator. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm mad amped for this, yo. I'm mad amped for this. Gruden and Mayock going to select the projected third rounder, hopefully, in the third round. Hopefully. Island of misfits, slot corners. A bunch of running backs that they're going to try to make play safety. Sacktown, yeah, let them know, man. Hit them likes. Hit them likes. Yeah, we got Sanjit, man. He coming on, man. He got to get it. He getting himself situated. You know what I'm saying? Getting his camera right, getting his sound right. Because when we start going full throttle, we answering as many questions as we can, man. Get your questions ready. We got some stuff we're gonna talk about, but then we also gonna try to hit them questions, man. We're gonna try to hit them questions for y'all, for sure. First round pick will be a good character. Damn, that joint just flew by. Where the hell did that go? Better be a legitimate defense under that tree, or I'm going with you to Vegas with the strap. You already know. I gotta holler at people out there though to get the strap out there. I can't travel with it. You feel me? I seen that, and I seen how that book ends. Pacey and Cunningham, appreciate the donation. You're a real one, and I always peep the knowledge you supply the nation with. You ready for tomorrow, yo? I think I'm ready. But when it comes to the Raiders, man, look, put it like this. I got the top faded. I got the top braided, the sides faded, often imitated. But you know what I'm saying? I think I'm ready, man. I think I'm ready. I picked up a couple shirts. I think I'm ready, man. I think I'm ready, yo. I hope I'm ready. I ain't ready. Manuel, appreciate the donation. Yo, G, show is always lit, and I honestly think Parsons falls to us. I know we need a safety, but can't pass on him. I agree. I don't think you can pass on Parsons. I don't think you can pass on Parsons, man. Honestly. I don't think you can do that. I just think he might be a trendsetter at that position. You know what I'm saying? Make sure we hit them likes. How long is the flight? Man, I don't fly, so I don't know how long any flight is. I know it's too long for me. That's all I know. I don't mess with no flights. When it comes to the draft, we definitely been making some questionable decisions like Arnett. You know what though? To be fair, if I was in a position, man, who knows what's going on, man? I don't know what's going on, yo. Sometimes I see a player I think is good and he might suck, but luckily nobody saw me say it on TV. Hit them likes. What channel to draft on? I would assume ESPN, no? Or NFL Network. I don't know. If you got cable, you'll have it. If you ain't got cable, hey, man, you got to put in some overtime or something. Dominique, what's up? Gustavo, what's good? I have a feeling it's either Jock or Darrisaw. I don't think it's going to be Darrisaw. But you know what? I don't have all the answers to your draft questions. You know why? Because I am not a draft expert. But my guest on the show tonight is a draft expert. He is a college football expert. So you know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring on not somebody who's just a friend to the channel, but also becoming a friend of mine. And with no further ado, I'm going to bring on my man, Sanjit T. What's up, my guy?
What's good, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. You can hear me? Everything good?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So, yo, are we dual streaming or what's up? Did it work?
So check this out, man. I was like, all right, I was getting ready. I'm getting my notes ready. I'm like, I'm about to go on with Honcho. And out of nowhere, I look at my phone and I'm like, what the hell? My other channel's live. And there's like this old ass thumbnail on there from a video from months back. But I think it is live.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like 10 people watching. I don't even know.
Is it on the wrong channel? That's the channel you gave me.
No. It's on the right channel for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, man. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Obviously, for anybody that's watching, if you have a super chat, make sure to leave that on Honcho's channel because super chats will not be answered on my channel. Those don't come up in the platform we're using. So any super chats, make sure to leave those on Honcho's channel. Also, that gives you guys the ability to go subscribe to his channel as well. I do want to first and foremost say thank you, bro, once again for having me on, for hitting me up and saying, hey, man, these are the days that I have available. We're right there, man. The draft's right around the freaking corner. I'm pumped up, man. I'm super pumped up. So
I know. I can tell you pumped up because you did a mock draft and you drafted 17 defensive tackles. So I know you pumped up, man.
hey, check this out, man. Literally right before you hit me up, I was doing my mock draft. I'll have a full mock draft dropping tomorrow morning. I'll probably do one video and then I'll just post it to both of my channels.
Okay.
But I don't have the Raiders taking a defensive tackle, man.
Nice. That's already an A+ for me, man. That's already A+. Let me get this super chat and then we're gonna get into some stuff, man. Gilbert, appreciate the donation. Let's grab Merrick at 17 and trade next year's 3rd and 5th for Julio Jones. Well, I tell you what, man, I don't hate it. I super hate it. It goes beyond a hate for me. I'm not giving up any potential talent that we can get for Julio Jones, man. It's just, to me, it's just not something that I think is a necessity right now. I think our offense is pretty set. We've already had a top 10 offense, man. Like, I don't think we need to add that superstar name, right? That cachet. But I don't know if the production even matches up anymore. I just don't think we need it at this point, man.
Look, Julio Jones has had 95 catches for each of the last 7 years, I think.
Yeah.
That's not a trend that's going to continue. That's going to fall off soon. Now, I do see that if we're going to be a Super Bowl potential team for the next 3 years, it might make sense a 3rd and a 5th, because what are we going to take anyways? Arden Key? Like, he's going to be gone in 2 years, 3 years, and so you never know, man. But I don't think a 3rd and a 5th is enough for Julio Jones. I think they're going to want a 1st or a 2nd.
Yeah, I don't think at first I don't think it's enough, but to me it's not about, I don't always look at it as like, well, what player am I going to get with the 3rd and 5th? It's that maybe in that draft I might use those picks to trade up and get somebody in that year's class that's going to be here 5, 6, 7 years. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
That's all it is for me, man. That's all it is for me, is that I don't want to trade any of our future. You know what I mean? Unless we know for sure it's an Arden Key, but we don't. You know what I mean? We don't know. Sure. We gotta have that. We gotta have that potential in our pocket. We got a super chat coming in from, I never could say these names, man. Aunt Six Soldier. I think last year's draft picks will be great now that Paul is gone. I can imagine how far along them would be if we would have fired him early. I think that yes and no, because you saw, even though we got rid of him, the defensive line still struggled under Marinelli. Sometimes when you have a scheme, and even though it doesn't work on the field, mentally you've been working that scheme for so long, it might not just be the easiest thing to just, okay, we're going to switch to another scheme. Even if they had got rid of him 3-4 weeks earlier, possibly it would have made a difference. But those guys had already had bad habits, and we already know bad habits are really hard to break. So it's not a guarantee we would have been better just if we got rid of him earlier.
If we got rid of Paul Gunther after year 2, I think that would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Getting rid of Paul Gunther midseason, it makes no difference.
Yeah.
At the same time, these guys are rookies. They're going to take time to develop, right? How great was Jaylen Ramsey his first year, right? Like, I'm sure he wasn't a superstar right away.
Great point. That's a great point, bro. That's a great point. I mean, yeah. I mean, but to me, the defensive side of the ball is like the offensive in the NFL are so advanced these days that, I mean, you got to really have a coach that's like buttoned down. I don't know. Like you said, if we had brought him in the beginning of a year, brought a new guy in, it might be different. But any midseason changes are going to be tough, man. That's going to be tough, especially with young defensive players. But all right, so we got the super chats out the way so far. So let me get right into this, man. Obviously, we're on the eve of draft night. And this is my first, situation being a content creator and, dealing with the draft. It's crazy. I didn't think it would be this crazy, but it's super crazy. But I got to ask you, man. Like, do you trust John Gruden's ability to evaluate talent, not talent that's already been proven? Like, he might be okay at getting veteran players, right? But that's still questionable. But do you believe in his talent or his ability to evaluate the talent at the college level, man? Let me know what you think on that.
All right, man. I got to be 100% honest with you. I do not believe that John Gruden knows what he's doing when it comes to evaluating talent. Now, of course, he's a professional coach. What am I, right? I'm not a professional coach. But I can tell you right now, based off of what he did in Tampa Bay, based on what he did the first time he was with the Raiders, based on what he's done so far with the Raiders, other than the Colton Miller pick, basically every other pick is right now it's questionable, right? If it hasn't already failed, it's questionable. There's no other player, like even Cleveland Farrell.
Or maybe Josh. Maybe Josh.
And Josh Jacobs, of course. But even then, that's questionable. Like, I believe Nick Chubb went in that same draft, right, in the second round. Right. You can get running backs in the second round, right? I don't think having a first-round running back really matters. And I do like Josh, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, Josh Jacobs, if he wants $16 million in 2 years or whenever we have to pay him, I'm not giving him $16 million.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a fact. He at the end of the day, he's a running back. He's you look at Devontae Booker when he came in, it wasn't that big of a drop off, right? Quarterbacks, offensive tackles, defensive ends, defensive tackles, corners. Those are the positions that matter, right? Running backs don't matter. Wide receivers don't matter. Of course they matter, but they don't matter that much, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. You know what? It's funny that you said it's funny that you say you don't trust his ability to evaluate the talent, and then you bring up getting a running back later, because I'm pretty sure that when he was in Tampa Bay, he drafted Cadillac in like the first round.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in Tampa Bay, he drafted Cadillac in the first round, maybe like a top 17 pick. So like
something like that. Yep.
And he picks bad quarterbacks, right? Like I don't think he drafts Derek Carr if he was in that position. He would have got somebody, because remember, he loved Johnny Manziel. He loved, I think, Josh Rosen. Like, he loved a lot of these guys that are, like, to me, super suspect, man. So, like, I don't know, man. So just his ability to evaluate talent is just, to me, it's suspicious. But do you think is it a make or break draft for Gruden and Mayock? And I'm gonna say Gruden and Mayock because I feel like I don't want to say make or break for Mayock, because I don't know if he's the guy calling the shots. So as a tandem, as a duo, is this make or break for them this year, man, in this draft?
I think it is. But here's the thing, right? Is like, I just a second ago, I said that we don't really know if those guys are going to work out, right? Like Cleveland Farrell and some of these other picks. We don't know if they're going to work out. At the same time, what if next year Cleveland Farrell gets 13 sacks and he becomes a Pro Bowler or an All-Pro? At the same time, you know, I have a lot of confidence in Jonathan Abram. I'm confident Jonathan Abram will be an All-Pro player eventually. What if that hits this upcoming year and then it's like Damon Arnett gets 6 interceptions? Yeah. And all of a sudden, you know, John Gruden's this genius coach, and we're these idiots, right? That doubted him. You know, I do think that there is something going on with John and Mike in the way that they're evaluating talent. I was told that they take turns, they alternate with the picks. I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's what I've heard. And it would make sense, right? Like, there's no way Mike Mayock would have thought that Henry Ruggs is better than CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy. Yeah. There's just no way. Yeah, I agree. That's a pick that, like, John Gruden would make, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree, because watching Mayock so much during the combines and stuff, his evaluation of talent to me always seemed like, yo, I agree with this guy. Like, a lot of times he would talk in those combine drills and stuff, and he'd be pointing out different things. And I think that Gruden really wanted Henry Ruggs, and I think Mike Mayock being his boy was kind of like, all right, I don't 100% agree with it, but I'm 100% behind you, and we're gonna let you roll with that. We're gonna let you roll with that. Yep. So I don't know, man. But yeah, so we're at 17, man. I hope John Gruden doesn't blow it. I dropped the video today begging him, please just don't blow this for us, man. We're not that far away from where we need to be. The window is not getting bigger, but it's not necessarily closing on us either. We're right there. At 17. Now I know you like defensive tackles in the past, but we got a super chat here from Rich, and it says, if Parsons and Jock are both on the board, who do you take? And that kind of goes with a question that I wanted to ask you, and I was going to throw a third person in there just to make it even more challenging for you, Mr. Draft Expert. We're gonna put your knowledge to the test. If Parsons, Jock, and Merrick are all available at 17, who do you take, and why?
If those 3 guys are all there, I'm taking Micah Parsons without a doubt. I don't think Micah Parsons is going to get outside the top 10. I think he's going to be the first defensive player taken, and I'd be shocked if he wasn't. Remember, a couple years back, Devon White was the 5th overall pick, and I think when teams know that there's a great linebacker out there, teams are going to get that player, right? I think when you look at a linebacker like Nick Bolton, you look at some other linebackers like Monty Rice, for example, who I recently watched out. I love him. He's a good player, right? But at the same time, he's not a guy you're going to take in the top 10. He doesn't have that difference-making ability. He's a good linebacker when it comes to defending the run and those type of things. But the NFL is shifting away, right? You want your linebackers, if he's unfortunately put in a position to cover a receiver or maybe a running back out in space like Alvin Kamara or Christian McCaffrey, you want your linebacker not to panic, and you want your linebacker to be able to, at least for one play, if it just happened to happen, to be able to cover that running back and shut him down. Yeah. I take Micah Parsons 100% of the time. Second would be Trayvon Merrick. I think he's going to be a great player as well. Here's the thing, though, right? And I guess this is a question for you. In your opinion, what kind of impact do safeties actually have? Like, what's the difference of having a top 3 or 4 safety versus having, the 18th best safety in the league? Like, what's the difference for a defense? Does it matter if there's no pass rush? Does it matter if your linebackers can't stop the run?
I would tell you that, in all honesty, that if you have a terrible pass rush, your DBs are going to look suspect no matter what. They're going to look suspect. Like, they'll make good plays, but their bad plays are going to be really, really bad. But I will say that in a situation that the Raiders are in, I think the safety this year is probably more important than it would be in other years to get that ball hawking safety, because that's the piece we're missing. I think in most drafts, it's not a safety dependent defense, right? You don't usually have the defense that's like, we're one safety away. Usually it's the edge, it's the linebackers, your lockdown corners. You don't usually have the we're a safety away from getting the job done. So I would say in most times the safety wouldn't make that big of a deal. But every now and then you get an Ed Reed, you get a Troy Polamalu, and those safeties change games. You know what I'm saying? So I would say more times than not, the safety isn't the game changer that you necessarily need. But for this defense in the position we're in right now, I think it's a big deal for us. It's a big deal for us.
So do you think that let's say Nicholas Morrow or Corey Littleton, let's say one of those guys get hurt, you think we'd be fine at the linebacker position?
No.
No. Do you think there'd be a bigger drop off there as opposed to like if Carl Joseph or maybe if we bring him back?
Put it like this. I think that, the thing is, for me, I think that we're razor thin at the linebacker position, but I think we can address that later. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the drop off from now, don't get me wrong, the Nick Boltons, the Zaven Collins, the Jocks, and the obviously the Parsons are head and shoulders. But for you to fall back, for you to get your number one safety and then go get a Dylan Moses, go get a Jamin Davis or a Monty Rice, like in my opinion, then the drop off's not that severe. But if you go in there with Jeff Heath as your starting safety, I mean, there is no drop off. You at the bottom. That's like falling off the bed, but you on the bottom bunk, like on a bunk bed. You fall off the bottom. There ain't nowhere to fall. If you fall off the top, it's a different thing. So I just think that we have no depth at linebacker, but we at least have 3 starters. We don't have 3 starting free safeties. We don't have one, in my opinion.
You don't think Carl Joseph could start?
I just don't. I mean, he could, but it's just not where I think it's going to best suit him. I think he's more in the box. I think he's like an Abrams type of player. But I got a few chats I got to get to. I got to get to these. Mike Nizer, that's my guy, always supporting the channel. Glad to see you in here. He says, I'm glad to see you two together speaking on our team's position at this point and what we should do. Much respect to the both of your football intelligence. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the kind words. Raiders for life. Appreciate the donation. I wish we get an OC play caller. Now, that's interesting to me because that's something I agree on. I think that John Gruden is masterful at designing plays. I just don't think he has his finger on the pulse to know when to actually call those plays. So I think getting a young, stud play caller that has that little bit of moxie to him to pull the trigger and take some chances, I think that would serve John Gruden's playbook very well. I got another one coming in from Pacien. Appreciate it to both of you. Who do you want the most? Who do you think we will draft, and which pick would piss you off? Wow, that's loaded. That's loaded. I want Trayvon Merrick the most in the first round. I think they're going to draft Jock. The player that would piss me off is if they draft Barmore.
Damn, Barmore would piss you off? Before I answer that, I want to know what is it about Barmore that you don't like?
No. It's not that I don't like him. It's not that. Look, to be perfectly honest, when we didn't address defensive tackle in free agency, Barmore was the guy for me, right? Barmore was the guy, but I was also leaning toward a Lean McNeil in the second round. But remember, at that point, I didn't know we were going to lose Rodney Hudson, Gabe Jackson. So it kind of all shifted for me. I think Barmore is the best defensive tackle in this draft, bar none, no pun intended, right? He's the guy. I just don't think it's a necessity for us anymore, as it was, a couple months ago. That's all.
Now, do you think, because I know your guy's Trayvon Merrick, do you think Trayvon Merrick will be drafted before Christian Barmore in this draft class?
No.
I don't think so either. I think Christian Barmore's. I wouldn't be surprised. I know Trayvon Merrick's a real good player. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the board and we pass him and we don't draft him. Like I would not be passed.
I can see him going 26, 27, somewhere in that area. I think he's a first round talent.
I think so too.
I don't think he's a top 17. It's hard to say. It's hard because if you take the quarterbacks out, he's a top 15 player, right? But those quarterbacks kind of bump everybody back, and it makes you think like, well, if he's not a top 17 player, then how is he going to get picked at 17? But you also have 4 quarterbacks that might go in the top 17. So without them, he's a top 15 player. So Trayvon Merrick is potentially a reach at 17, honestly, right? Because he probably would be there at 25, 26. Barmore wouldn't be a reach. It's just a player I personally wouldn't be like, ecstatic about. That's all. He's a good player, though. Can't deny him.
So just to answer that super chat.
Okay, go ahead.
I would love to get Trayvon Merrick, Michael Parsons, either one of those guys. I'm perfectly fine with. A guy that would piss me off, not necessarily piss me off, would be a corner. I would not want a corner in the first round. So I guess it's more of a positional unit that would piss me off. We don't need young corners, man. We have plenty of young guys.
Yeah. So so Caleb Farley would just tear you apart. I just seen he had COVID. I'm like, damn it, you can't get his timing couldn't be any worse. And bad timing as a corner, something I don't want, man.
Well, there's a report that came out, I think today or yesterday, that teams feel that he's going to need surgery, that he probably won't be ready to play this year either. So there's a chance he'll be there at pick 7. There's a good chance he'll be there at pick 17.
Yeah, he better still be there after pick 17. You know what I'm talking about. Damn. Sacktown Morgue, appreciate the donation. How many free safeties in this draft would start for us? Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I think that Sanjit is gonna disagree with me, but personally, I think there's one safety that would start for us day one. That's Merrick. I think there are other safeties that could start for us. I just don't know if they start day one, right? So I think Jamar Johnson could start. I think he doesn't have the experience yet at safety. Remember, the year before he was a starting cornerback. I don't know if he has this the experience to start at safety right now in a center field full defensive scheme, like fully locked and loaded. I don't know if he's there yet. I don't know. I definitely don't think Richie Grant could. I don't think Andre Sisco could. Maybe Molden. But again, I just don't know day one. I think Trayvon Merrick day one could start for us.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Merrick, of course, I'll throw Johnson in there. And I agree with you, Jar. He was a corner just last year. But I do think Jamar Johnson has it, man. I think him and Merrick can both start first. If the Raiders took Jamar Johnson with pick 17, I would not mind. I'd be perfect.
Oh, Sanjit, you can't be talking all that blasphemous stuff around here, okay? You cannot take Jamar Johnson at 17, bro.
Hey, man, if it happens, I'll be posting this clip right here on Instagram, on Twitter, and I'll be tagging you.
I'm copywriting this shit. All right, we got Roosevelt with a super chat. What guy that you have a second round grade on would you be okay with in the first round? Example, Elijah Molden. I think Sanjit just told you. Yeah. I think a second round guy that he would be okay with going in the first is probably Jamar Johnson.
Yep.
For me, a guy that I got in the second round that I'd be okay with if we got in the first. Wow, I don't know, man, because that what it is. That second round it's tough. It's tough. I don't know. Do you think Zaven Collins goes in the first round?
I think he does. Okay. I think if he's there when the Steelers pick, I think they pick with 23 or 24. I think the Steelers take him. The Steelers just lost Bud Dupree. Okay. I think their only outside linebacker they have. And again, Zaven Collins played in a 4-3 for Tulsa, but I believe in the NFL, he's 277. Like, he's a big football player. I think he's a 3-4 outside linebacker. 277,
man.
No, I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. Zaven Collins.
Yeah, he went in. He played at 260. But then he came in at 270 at his pro day.
Oh, was it 70 or 77?
Now, I think it was 70, but I don't think he's gonna stay there, man. I think once they get him on eating the right stuff and fully working out, and he loses some of that baby fat. I mean, these guys are still kids. I think I totally agree. I think he's gonna lose some of that. He's a stud, but that's a guy to me that could possibly go in the second round. That if we took him at 17, I wouldn't be mad at all. I would not be mad, depending who's on the board.
And where does he play though for the Raiders?
That's that Leo, man. It's that Leo.
I could see that.
I would much rather have Zaven Collins on the field than Nicholas Morrow. That's just my honest opinion.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I mean, I would have Zaven Collins definitely over Morrow. Even Littleton, right? I know they play a different position technically, but if you want to get big and you want to stop the run, that's the guy right there, man. Yeah. And just to answer that last question, for me personally, Samuel Cosmi has a second round grade, but I would not be mad if the Raiders took him with pick 17. I think the top 4 offensive tackles are going to be gone by the time pick 17 comes around.
Yeah, I agree. Raider Andy, good to see y'all talking Raider football. Micah, Merrick, Jock, any of those 3 in the first, I'd be cool. Jamar Johnson at 17, a reach. Second round, maybe. Look, man, Sanjit, you got to change your YouTube handle. Has to be Reach God. It has to be Reach God.
Look, man. Look,
it's not good.
It happens. This is my third official year of covering draft. Every year it happens, man. People are like, oh, who this player gets taken. Oh, it's a reach. This player gets taken. It's a reach. It's not a reach if the team wants him, man. You're right. I remember I always go through my old tweets, right, to see some of my dumbass takes that I put out there on Twitter. And I came across a take that I put out of Clelin Ferrell. I said Clelin Ferrell's going to be a top 10 pick. Most people, when draft came around, did not have him in the top 10. But again, he showed flashes. He showed talent. And I've had some dumb takes. I'm not going to sit here and say I had every positive take. But at the end of the day, there's guys that are going to go in the first round that you might not think. I said this recently. Jeremiah Owusu-Cormier. Don't be surprised if he ends up going in the second round. Really? It's not out of the question. It could happen. Yeah. There's a lot, positional value, I think, is often underrated, right? You get 5 or 6 quarterbacks taken, 4 or 5 wide receivers, 5, 6 offense tackles. It could happen, man. It could definitely happen.
I think it could, man. I think, what it is, that reach thing to me, I think people automatically think of reach means like you suck. To me, a reach just means a player that you drafted at a pick that you would have still been able to get later. That's all.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. How do you know for sure you'd be able to get him later?
Well, I mean, I think when we picked Clelin Ferrell, what did we have? What didn't we have 2 first rounds that year?
We had 3. So we got Clelin Ferrell with the 4th. I think we had the 24th and 27th pick. So no guarantees, though, man. There's no.
No. But what's funny? What's funny is when I hear you say it, is like if we picked those same 3 players in a different order, would it matter? Would it be any different?
I guess it wouldn't, right?
Right. Like even if we got Cleveland where we got Abram, would it matter? It's still Clelin Ferrell on our team when we could have got somebody else. So the whole reach thing is it's hard to deal with. But what offensive lineman, since you I know a lot of people like Darisaw, Tevin Jenkins, you just mentioned Cosmi having a second round grade, could potentially go first. What lineman would you be okay with the Raiders taking at 17? Because we talked a lot, but neither one of us have us taking a lineman at 17. Offensive lineman.
I don't think we should, to be 100% honest. I don't think an offensive lineman makes any sense for the Raiders because there's probably 10 good offensive tackles that are all going to start, right? Legitly. I think the top 4 are gone, right? Penei Sewell, Rashawn Slater, Christian Darisaw, Tevin Jenkins. I think those 4 guys are off the board. And then, of course, you have Elijah Vera Tucker, who could play guard or tackle. And most people will say that outside of the top 4 tackles, he's probably the 5th offensive lineman. Landon Dickerson's another guy that I would not be mad if we took him with the 17th pick. He has to be healthy. And I don't think – obviously, he wouldn't play center, right? Honor James is already our center. He would be our guard, and Denzel Good would have to slide over to the right tackle position. Yeah. There are 2 tackles that I really, really like, and I think they're both going to be scheme fits, and I would not be surprised if we took one of these guys. Jalen Mayfield from Michigan and Samuel Cosmi from Texas. Those 2 guys could both go in the first round, and I think they're going to be great football players.
Wow. I did not see either one of them going in the first round. But you know what? me being so naive is that like the first round is over after the Raiders pick. Right? So it's like when you're saying they could go in the first round, I'm like, there's no way they're going at 17, bro. But like, bro, there's still like, 13 picks after that. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, you're right. Those guys could definitely slip, man. So speaking of, you're talking about the lineman at 17, and I saw you posted a video today, man. Should the Raiders trade Clelin Ferrell? And I didn't watch it yet because obviously I've been busy trying to get this stream going. By the way, we got 387 people in here right now. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world and you're here with us. So I appreciate that. But my question to you, Sanjit, is do you foresee any current Raiders being traded on draft night? Any one of the draft nights?
So players don't get traded, right, on draft. There's only one position that gets traded during draft, and that's quarterback. So maybe Marcus, maybe Derek, probably not Derek, but possibly.
You watch your mouth, man. You watch your damn mouth in here, man.
So possibly Marcus Mariota is the only guy that I could see get traded. And that's honestly if because the Panthers just traded away Teddy Bridgewater, right? So they don't have a quarterback. So if the Falcons, Niners, Jaguars, and the Jets all take quarterbacks, who's left? Like Trey Lance or Mac Jones, one of these guys is left. That's assuming another team doesn't take a quarterback before the Panthers pick, right? Yeah. So, and then even then, the Patriots might want to get a quarterback, and I know that's probably more of like future development. Hey, you never know, man. Like someone might want to trade for Marcus Mariota. But quarterback's the only position. What do you think? You think there's any other position the Raiders would trade or player in general?
The smaller one. No, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I just don't even think the Raiders are savvy enough to put anything like that together. Like they just seem like look, this is what we're gonna do. This is the plan. We're gonna work the plan. That's it. I don't think they're savvy to where it's like, I was watching that movie. Was it Draft Day with Kevin Costner? And he's traded 4 picks here, gets 3 picks back. And like, I'm like, man, could you imagine anybody trying to do it, let alone John Gruden trying to do that? Like, it would never happen. So, no, I don't think anybody's getting traded on draft night, not even a quarterback. I do think that the whole idea of Carr's contract extension not being here yet is just like totally bothersome for me, man. It's perplexing. I just don't understand, like, if they're trying to play draft games and like, well, they haven't extended him yet. Maybe he's available and they're trying to hear maybe draft night like packages for him. I don't know, but outside of that, no, I don't really see any of our quarterbacks being traded. Somebody said, Adrian said, I missed your super chat. Well, put your question back in there, man. I'll say it. I gotta go find it, man. My bad, man. I hate when that happens. But we got this guy's super chat right here. Oh, hey, appreciate the donation.
Just a reminder, real quick. If you guys are watching it on my stream on my channel, super chats will not be able to. They won't come into this channel because of the way we're kind of doing it. If you guys left a super chat on my channel, and obviously we're not going to be able to get to it, I will make a full ass video probably tomorrow or sometime, and I will answer all those super chats. But if you're on my channel and you want your super chat to be answered, go to Honcho's channel and leave a super chat there. That way we'll make sure to get it answered.
Yeah, we got you. And if he does a video with super chats that I missed or didn't answer, he'll bring me on and we're going to answer those questions for sure. Because that's what we're here for, man. This is chat appreciation. Okay, we're here for the nation. Appreciate the donation. You said 2 first round for Carr, and maybe we think about it. The Bears look interested. Look, look, man. Don't do this. We're not doing this right now, okay? Derek Carr is our franchise quarterback, man. Like it or not, we're not giving him up. We're not giving him up. 2 first rounds to the Bears. No, we're not giving the Bears Khalil Mack and Derek Carr. We're not doing that, man. We can't just hand them some type of NFC championship. Like I'm not dealing with that right now, bro.
Hey, man, the Bears. I was doing their pick just recently, and they have a good roster, man. They have a real good roster. They're just
quarterback away. They're quarterback away.
Yep.
Pacey with a donation. As our line of defense, how many times will Jamar look like Eric Harris missing attack? Okay, so based on our defensive line right now, would Jamar Johnson look like Eric Harris missing a tackle? Look, Jamar Johnson does need work making tackles, but I think his floor is probably higher than Eric Harris's ceiling. in my opinion. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, but just speaking honestly, I think Jamar Johnson he would do fine, even with our line as is. I think if he knows the system as well as Eric Harris knew the system, I think he would play better in it than Eric Harris did.
I want to make a point about this because I think there's a misconception here about Jamar Johnson not being able to tackle. People use his missed tackle statistic, right? Like Pro Football Focus. I forget the other one. He has a ton of missed tackles, and factually he does, right? I think if you just look the number of missed tackles, he's up there in the top 5th, right? But what people don't understand is he's also has, I think he's like the 9th or 10th most positive tackles, right? PFF has this stat where it's like it's called stops, and that's positive tackles. And that means like on first down, it's a gain of less than 3 yards. On second down, it's a gain of less than 3 yards. On third and whatever, it's a stop before they get the first. He's up there in that statistic, right? So as a player, right, and Honcho, I'm sure you know this to be a fact, right? If you're a player that has to be in position 100 times to make a tackle, you're going to have more missed tackles than a guy who only is in position to make 10 tackles throughout a season.
Yes.
Right. The overall number does not matter.
Yeah.
Right. He's making more tackles. He's involved more in whatever it is he's doing. Don't forget, the Indiana defense was a top 5 defense last year.
It was. I'm a Michigan fan, so I know all about that damn Indiana defense.
You see what they did to Justin Fields, man? That's a one badass defense, man.
Yeah.
And I would say Jamar Johnson was the best player on that defense.
Yeah. And honestly, the fact that he can go from being a starting cornerback 1 year and then because of an injury go to be a standout starting safety lets you know what type of football player he is and what type of football player he's going to be. But I think that was a brilliant point to bring up the amount of missed tackles per volume. Because obviously, if you're in a position to make more tackles, you're probably going to miss more tackles.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to tackle 100% of the time. So I think that was a great point. Daniel Kim, appreciate the donation, man. Appreciate that. You didn't have a question, but I appreciate the donation. We got one coming in from Jeremiah. Appreciate that. I'm higher on Jock. I think he has the higher ceiling and his pass coverage is impeccable. He has the higher ceiling, in my opinion. Hopefully, Green Bay pick 17. What? What do you mean Green Bay pick 17? What are you talking? What are you talking? Is this a Green Bay fan in here? I don't know, man. But when you say you think Jock has a higher ceiling, higher ceiling than who? I don't think he has a higher ceiling than Parsons. I think Parsons is just getting started. I think he ain't even cracked the surface of what he's going to be. He's going to be a freight train, man. He's got all the physical tools you want in a linebacker. Jock is a little undersized at linebacker. And if he came to the Raiders, they're going to probably try to use him in ways where I don't even think it's going to benefit him, like trying to have him guard really skilled. Like, I wouldn't want Jock guarding Darren Waller. I mean, there's not a lot of Darren Wallers out there, but that's just not what I want. You know what I mean? So I think if you're talking about a pure linebacker, I don't think his ceiling is higher than Parsons if you're drafting him to play linebacker.
I see the comments. People saying GB stands for Gus Bradley.
Oh, damn. My bad, player. Bad player.
I agree, though. I agree with that. I do hope Gus Bradley gets that pick. I hope he's the one that gets to make that decision.
But I don't know if you're not taking Jock over Parsons.
I would not take Jock over Parsons. Not even close. I would take Jamin. I would probably take Jamin Davis over Jock.
Oh, damn, Sanjit. You be saving all this spicy talk for here? I appreciate it, man, because the chat gonna go crazy. The chat gonna go crazy when they hear what you just said.
Don't kill me on that, man.
You taking Jamin Davis over Jock?
I think Jamin Davis is going to be a great player in the NFL. And here's the difference. Jamin Davis can play as an inside linebacker much better than Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. In my personal opinion, right? Jock is an outside linebacker. So when you're gonna play dime or quarters defense, are you gonna put Jock right there in the middle of your defense? Because what if a team runs the ball? Is he gonna be able to take out an offensive lineman and make that play? And people don't think about that, right? In the Notre Dame defense, he played a ton from the tackle outside. He was not lining up in between tackle to tackle.
Yeah, that's
a big difference, man. Between and again, if you're gonna take a linebacker in the first round, like Devon White, Devin Bush, you got to make sure that guy can play within the box, man, and make sure if you're trying to play dime quarters that guy can stop the run. I don't think Jeremiah Cormier is that guy.
Yeah. So just to address the chat right now, because the chat's going crazy because they think I don't watch no damn film. Y'all got to first of all take it easy. Second of all, when I say my reaction to taking Jaylen Davis over Jock is not even necessarily about skills or playing ability. It's that to me, see, and this where me and Sanjit kind of disagree. I think Jock is a first round pick. Jaylen Davis isn't. So in my opinion, when he says he'll take Jaylen Davis over Jock, it's like, whoa, would you take Jaylen Davis at 17? But that's not what he's saying. But that's where my mind goes when I'm reacting to it. So please understand, it's not that I don't think Jaylen Davis is going to be good. It's just that I don't think Jaylen Davis is a top 20 player in this draft. Jock, to me, is on the borderline of being a top 20 player, to me. So that's why my reaction is like that. That's all. We got Ephraim. Appreciate the donation. Gruden wanted to trade up for Jacobs. Mike said no. Wow. Is that confirmed, Sanjit?
I don't know. I don't know if that's a fact. I think Mike Mayock always talks about how he had like this USB drive with like 6 plays, and he would take it to John Gruden, and he was like, "Hey, we got to go get this guy because of these 6 plays."
They be lying, bro.
Or maybe he sells like a CD or something like that, or a disc drive. I don't know what the hell he said.
You can't trust them fools, man.
yeah. So
you can't trust them.
I don't know.
Here we go. So somebody says, so Mike says, Honcho, Jaylen Davis is more pro-ready linebacker than Parsons or Jock, especially in the Mike Sam. Look, my thing about that is, it's not that I'm disagreeing with you, but Jaylen Davis wasn't on the field all that much. Like let's keep it in perspective. You might be watching some film, but Jaylen Davis wasn't on the field that much. It wasn't like he was a 3-down linebacker. He didn't play every single play. So to me, his upside might be there. But how can you say a guy is more pro-ready than the next guy if he doesn't have the same experience level? So I don't know if I can agree with that. I don't disagree with that, but I will point out that one of the knocks on Jaylen Davis is that we really don't know a whole bunch about him. That's all. That's all I'll say about that. Dirty Raider, appreciate the donation. Trading Carr would be blowing it. We have a decent offense. Look, Sanjit smiled already. Trading Carr would be blowing it. We have a decent offense and can get the job done. Focus on defense first and second round. Plenty of old linemen in the later rounds. I agree and disagree. I don't think you can rest on your laurels and think that you're automatically going to get a good lineman later in the draft. So if you have an opportunity to get one and you think the difference between this offensive line and being great and being mediocre is one player, I don't think you pass up on that one player saying, well, there's 7 other guys we can get. There's usually one guy that's on another level than everybody else, right? I agree there are going to be some linemen later in the draft, but I wouldn't go on it just saying, I wouldn't pass on a Darisaw or a Cosme and say, well, we can get somebody else later. I don't think you could pass up on those type of guys. Sanjit, you say to what?
I totally agree with you, man. First and foremost, I don't know how much longer we're gonna have Derek Carr, right? And that could be because Derek might say, I don't want to stay on this shitty ass organization. They can't build me a defense. Why don't I go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and go win Super Bowls? Right? It's up to DC. Like, he does not have to stay with the Raiders. But DC has gotten us a top 12 offense over the last couple of years. And if we can't build the defense, we're messing up, and that's our own fault. And we do need to fix the defense, and I would focus in on the defense in the draft this year for sure. Yeah,
and I definitely agree that trading Carr would be blowing it, but keeping Carr and not drafting defense is also blowing it. So
absolutely,
you know what I mean.
And you're right. We do need to fix the tackle position. We need to, and I don't know if fix is the right word. We need to make sure we have our right tackle.
Yeah, we have to address it. We have to address it for sure. Anthony G says, appreciate the donation. When are people going to realize that Gruden calls the shots, not Mayock? Have another poor draft and reach in round 1. It's Gruden's fault, not Mayock. I will say, Anthony G, look, man, you got Derek Carr as your thumbnail, which means you got to be more positive, man. You got to be a little more positive, just like Derek Carr would be. What would Carr do? Okay, he would be positive. You sound a little negative. Going. This is the eve of the draft, right? You got to be a little more positive, man. Optimistic about it. I think that they've learned from their mistakes in the past. I think it's time to buckle down and do it the right way. And I believe that they're going to do that. I think that Mayock and Gruden are going to do this the right way, especially because Gus Bradley was also a head coach. I think he brings a different persona in that room that Paul Gunther just couldn't do. Paul Gunther looked like the dude in the corner of the draft room eating Cheetos and got the orange stuff all over his face. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he gets the same respect that Gus Bradley is going to get. And I think that those three together are gonna make some good picks for us. That's at least my hope. That's my hope. Let me see. Sacktown said, you missed my last super chat. Rate last 3 Gruden drafts breakdown. Oh, wow, bro. That would be a whole video. And by the way, we got 407 people in here, man. Hit those likes. We really appreciate it, man. It does wonders for both of us to get in here and have these people in here rolling with us. And shout out to all the other Raiders channels doing their thing this weekend. It's going to be a big weekend for everybody. Shout out to Docs. I know he's out there in Cleveland holding it down. Be careful on that Henny, man. I know you on the Henny tonight. Be careful on the Henny, man. All right. And shout out to Raid the Tape, man. I just recently found out that was my guy D Guest, who was one of the early supporters of my channel. So if you haven't already, definitely go check out his channel, man. He got some fire on there.
Yeah, if you don't know, man, me and D Guest, we go back a long time. I've known him since he was since we were young, man. We go back to elementary school.
Damn, see,
see,
that's what's
guy,
up, man.
He knows football too, man. He's a smart
That's
guy.
What's up. Yeah, I gotta link up with him, man. He supported the channel early when I was at like 6 subs. Chris Crane, appreciate the donation. I hate it, but I think Gruden takes a QB. Mon Stanford QB. What is your Raiders surprise pick? Not a pick you would make, but one you think Raiders make. I don't think John Gruden's going to draft a quarterback. I don't think so. You restructure Marcus Mariota's deal. You want him. John Gruden seems to love Marcus Mariota. So I don't think you bring in a third quarterback. You're already fighting with your heart, dealing with Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota. So I don't think they draft a quarterback, but a surprise pick to me would be any wide receiver taken in the first round, honestly. Any wide receiver taken in the first round would be a surprise to me, but I don't think they draft a quarterback. Sanjit, you say what?
You know what's interesting? Everybody knows who the top 3 receivers are, right? No one knows who 4, 5, and 6, and 7 are. Like, no one pays attention. But if the top 3 are gone, like, don't be surprised if the Raiders make a move, man, and they take someone like Elijah Moore from Ole Miss. You know, Ole Miss has produced 2 of the top receivers in the NFL. Just recently, Kadarius Toney of Florida is another good wide receiver. And I'm talking about pick 17. Like, don't be surprised, man. But as far as quarterback, it doesn't make sense, man. It's a wasted pick at this point. Like, unless you're talking like, you know, around 6 or 7, and that I don't know. It still doesn't make sense, man. You have Nathan Peterman, you have Mariota and Carr. You already have 3 quarterbacks. I don't even think Derek carries 3 quarterbacks on the active roster. I think he only carries 2. So it doesn't make sense, right? To get like that 4th guy. Yeah,
I just don't see that happening. I don't see us not in the first round. If we go quarterback or wide receiver, if we go quarterback at all in this draft, I'll be surprised. But if we go wide receiver in the first round, I would absolutely hate it, because it just means that we're still doing the same stuff that Raiders do. Joe Santiago, appreciate the super chat. After all the moves we have made at defensive tackle, do we have the personnel on the roster to get it done, or is it taking Barmore a must-have? Well, I'm going to open up the floor and let Sanjit tell you about that, because I obviously don't think that defensive tackle is something that needs to be addressed in the first 2 rounds. But Sanjit, do you think we have the defensive line in place to get the job done?
So right now, just on top of my head, so we have Hankins, we have Jefferson, David Irving, Solomon Thomas. Am I missing anyone? Or
Vickers? What is Vickers?
And Kendall Vickers. Personally, I'm fine with those guys, to be honest with you guys. But if Christian Barmore is there, I would still take him. But to be honest, I think a team's going to take him. I think he's too talented. And I saw a comment earlier about Christian Barmore specifically saying that he only played in 15 to 25 snaps per game, right?
Yeah.
You guys got to keep in mind, Alabama gets all 4 and 5-star defensive players.
Yeah.
Right? They don't play, like, no player is going to play 40 snaps for Alabama. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And then Christian Barmore obviously wasn't healthy either. But again, I would love to take Christian Barmore if he's there with pick 17, right? I think he fixes our pass rush from the defensive tackle spot. We need to at some point figure that position out, because it's too important.
I agree.
You have to have the pass rusher from the inside.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I just think my thing is, no matter how good the pass rush is, so if you go Barmore at 17, let's say he improves the pass rush, he improves our defensive line, our front 7. To me, no matter how good the pass rush is, the quarterback's still going to throw the ball, and you're still going to have people that have to cover it regardless, right? So, yeah, the pass rush getting better, our front seven gets better, helps the whole team. But at 17, the one position we don't have is a right tackle and a free safety. So I just feel like, to me, that's where we have to go with it.
So I'm going to ask you a question about this. All right,
Go ahead.
I'm going to give you a scenario, an in-game scenario.
Okay.
So let's say we get a pass rusher like Barmore, and we are able to get that interior pressure, right? I think I mentioned this on the last time we went live together. Defensive tackles, defensive ends, you're not going to have the opportunity to get a sack on every single down, right? Because a lot of plays are 3-step dropbacks, quick passes to the right or to the left. The plays on those specific plays, what does a free safety do, right? A free safety on those quick passes doesn't do a whole lot, right? Because the free safeties 10, 15, 20 yards deep.
Yeah.
Right. The difference will be when a quarterback's going to drop back 7 steps and they're going to want to have a route downfield. They're going to want to take a shot downfield. That's when a free safety matters, and that's when your pass rushing defensive tackle matters. Right. Okay. That would be the situation. So it's a hit or miss either way. But what do you think would have the bigger impact when a quarterback's dropping back 7 steps? Do you think having that interior pass rush makes a bigger difference, or having that post safety?
I mean, obviously, I think it's the pass rush, but I don't think that I'm not conceding that we don't have that already, right? You see what I'm saying? It's not that I don't think it's important or less important than the safety. It's just that I know we don't have a safety, and I feel like we've already bolstered the defensive line. So we got the guys. Let's see them in your scenario play and not be able to do it, and then we can have that conversation. I feel like right now, I don't know if David Irvin can't do it. I don't know if Hank is not going to do it. I don't know if Vickers can't do it. I know Jeff Heath ain't going to do it, period.
I agree with you. I agree with you. However, I feel like we've been saying the same thing. Like, all right, we got Mo Hurst. Let's see what this guy can do. Last year, we got Malik Collins. Let's see what this guy can do. You know, my hope is that they can do it, but I don't know. I just feel like they're not going to be able to get it done. But I do agree with you. I do like Kendall Vickers a lot, right? I mentioned that in the past. Yeah, he's definitely a sleeper for me.
Yeah, it's not. So I think that defensive tackle is important for us. That's why I think we address it later on in the draft. So it's not like I'm saying we don't need it at all. But to me, it's like those Baltimore Ravens teams that had the greatest defenses like ever, but you still needed Ed Reed on that defense. You see what I'm saying? So no matter how good the Ray Lewis's was, or the Suggs, or the pass rush, you still had to have Ed Reed back there saying, "Hey, just in case y'all want to throw one over here, I'm taking that too." You look about Tampa Bay's defense when they ran to Tampa too. Like, they still had a Rondé Barber, they still had a John Lynch. Like, they had studs in that secondary. And they had Warren Sapp, right? So it's like, I think. I can't tell you one's more important than the other. I just think that we have more guys on the roster that give me hope that we've already addressed that defensive line, but now we need to address that secondary. That's all.
Absolutely.
Jack Ken, appreciate the donation. The Raiders have Nick Kwiatkowski at middle backer. He was solid last year, signed for a few. Jock's upside is way higher than Nicholas Morrow, plus Nicholas Morrow on a 1-year deal. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that Nicholas Morrow is just a Band-Aid. I think we had to have enough bodies on the team to get through a season. I don't think Morrow's going to be the answer, and I do think I could probably name 7 linebackers in this draft that have more upside than Morrow that can be better than Morrow tomorrow. No,
but and here's another thing, right? Corey Littleton signed a 3-year deal last offseason, but only 2 years are actually guaranteed. So after this year, we can cut Corey Littleton, and we don't owe him how much ever we would have to owe him.
True.
Right? There's a chance only Nick Kwiatkowski will be the linebacker brought back, right? There's a good chance.
Yeah. I'm just not a fan of Morrow. I think we had to bring him back because we're so thin there. But I wouldn't be surprised if we go 2 linebackers deep in this draft. Daniel Kim, I'm going to answer this. I got 2 more supers, and I'm going to ask you a question. Daniel Kim, appreciate the donation. What do you think about trading back, pick best need available, and getting a 2nd-round pick, tackle, safety? Who would you pick? It's really hard to answer those questions because we don't know who's on the board. I mean, if you trade back and get another 2nd-round pick, I mean, I don't know who. So if you're at 48, that would be Liam Eichenberg. You probably get at 48 as a lineman. But then you could address your safety situation. You can go Jamar Johnson. You can go Elijah Molden. There's so many different things you can do there. It's hard to give you a definitive answer, based on we don't know what the board is. But if you say tackle safety, I can go Eichenberg or Mayfield and then go grab a safety, which would be Jamar Johnson or Elijah Molden. I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, there's probably like 10 caliber starting offensive linemen, offense tackles, right? There's probably 10 of them. And I'm sure there's a bunch of others that will be players that will be able to start here or there, right? Get a couple seasons out of them. In the second round, there's a lot of good tackles we can take, right? Like North Dakota State has Dylan Raduns. Clemson has Jackson Carman, who I'm not sure if he'll be a tackle or a guard. Alex Leatherwood's another guy from Alabama. Walker Little from Stanford. Eichenberg, as you mentioned. There's another guy that I absolutely love, Brandon Hymas from Nebraska. I think he's going to be a late-round guy, but I think he's going to be one of the best offense tackles out this class.
That's how you pronounce his name? I've been trying to say Jameson forever.
It's funny because I saw him Brandon Thorne does these interviews with linemen, and I saw he was on it, and Brandon Thorne asked him, how do you say your last name? He's like, everyone always says it's like James or Jameis.
Yeah. So, all right. I thought he was like Jameis Winston or something. So let me ask you a question. You know what? I got to get these supers out because I've already missed them. Let me just run through these real quick because we appreciate them. Fail Face, really enjoyed the pairing of Raiders talk. Great dialogue. What are your four most ideal players drafted? 17, 48, 79, and 80. I think it's simple for me. I think it's free safety, right tackle, linebacker, cornerback for me. That's what it would be for me.
I totally agree with you.
That's what it would be for me. Mike Nizer, another one coming in. Appreciate you. Everyone making a big deal about no DC contract. Has no one thought that it will happen next year when the cap goes up so it can be front loaded? It's not that I haven't thought about that, but unless our defense gets better and we go another, mediocre season, they're not going to extend him. So it's almost like me being a fan of Derek Carr. I want them to take care of him now because he's taking care of us. And if we don't take care of him by putting a roster together that can actually compete, he's just going to take all the blame. And then that roster, that cap opens up, he's not going to benefit from it anyway. So that's the only reason why I want them to extend him now. That's all.
Hey, DC does not have to choose to come back to the Raiders.
That's a fact. But I think he will. Man. He loves the Raiders.
No, and I agree. I totally agree. I think he grew up a Raider fan too, right? He's right there in LA. So
yeah, I think he's definitely wants to be here. I think he wants to win one for us. I think that's like to him one of those challenges of like, yo, they said it could never be done. I won one here. V-Town 707. I appreciate the content you guys are putting out, both independently and collaboratively. Damn, that was a big word for me. Keep up the good work. Yes, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Next time, just put together. I got to put the same big I think I got one more, and then I'm going to get into this question. Raider Andy said, be real. How anxious are y'all for tomorrow? I'm not anxious yet because I've been spending so much time on the way anxiety works is that like, if your mind is busy, you don't think about it. And I've been putting out so many videos and doing so much stuff. I haven't really been able to sit down and think about it, but I'm sure tomorrow when we get to pick 5 and only the quarterbacks have been taken so far, I'm going to be like, all right, this is when it's going to get real for me.
Yeah, last year when the draft started, I got all nervous, man. So
yeah, I was nervous too. Pacey said, why not Jenkins at 17? That's a little bit of a reach, but
that's Jenkins.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be gone, man. By the time it's our pick. That's
tough for me. I don't know if he's gonna be gone, but Tevin Jenkins to me is like a guy at 26, 27. Depending on how the board falls, you don't know. But I definitely want to ask you some questions, man. So what are we've been talking about? I was gonna ask you your linebacker rankings, your cornerback rankings, safety rankings, but I feel like we've talked enough to kind of get a vibe from each other to know where we're going with that. But I want to know, give me a few players that we aren't talking about in this draft that we should be talking about. And not just us, but anywhere. I'm not saying heavy, deep sleepers, but who are some guys that you think, give me 2 or 3 guys that you think that are not being talked about enough that could really be difference makers in this draft?
So, yeah. So that's a great question. So I don't know if the Raiders will take these guys because we might not have a need. One of my biggest sleepers in this draft is a player from Washington. He's a defensive end / outside linebacker. His name's Joe Tyron, or it's
Joe Tyron.
Joe Tyron.
Yeah, I like him.
I think he's gonna be a fantastic player. I think he could end up going in the top 40 picks. I think he's going to be a fantastic player.
I think he will.
And people don't talk about him.
Yeah.
Ohio State has the defensive tackle, Tommy Tagaya. I think he's going to be a good player as well. He shows like good hand movement, in my opinion. Aaron Robinson, UCF, slot corner.
He's a stud.
I think he's going to be a great player. Tyson Campbell, man, I think people are sleeping on Tyson Campbell. Like, for reals. I've seen mocks with Tyson Campbell being like a 5th-round pick. And I'm surprised because I can see Tyson Campbell going in the top 25. Like, I think Tyson Campbell is going to be a real good player. I'll give you 2 linebackers as well that I like a lot. And they're not talked about. It's actually my number 5 and number 6 linebackers. One is Ernest Jones from South Carolina.
Yeah.
And then the second one's Chaz Surratt from North Carolina.
Ooh.
I don't know, man. Like, those 2 guys, like they're football players, you know. And of course, Monty Rice, I think, is a real good player as well.
Nice.
You got me onto him last time we were on.
Yeah.
Who else is a good?
I really like your pick of Chaz Surratt because I was so down on him because I knew him as a quarterback, right? Like, I think he was the quarterback.
I think so, yeah.
But I didn't realize that he was such a physical specimen, right? Then I see him, I'm like, oh, he don't look like a quarterback, right? And then you think about the knowledge a quarterback has on the defensive side and him playing linebacker and being the kind of the quarterback of that front 7 for somebody. I think that would be, if the Raiders got Chaz Surratt in the 2nd or 3rd round, I would not complain about it. I would not
complain either. I absolutely would not complain. Trey Norwood's another player that I really like from Oklahoma. There's so many players, man. Like Stone Fortsey from Florida is another tackle that I absolutely love. I wouldn't be mad if the Raiders took him.
So are these your guys that you think could be targets in rounds 3, 4, and 5? Or absolutely. Do you have a whole separate cabinet for guys that you think could be 3, 4, and 5 prospects?
I would say these guys could absolutely be 2nd to 5th, right? You never know. Like, Elijah Molden can be the 34th pick in the draft. At the same time, maybe teams don't view him quick enough, and maybe he goes in the 4th round.
Yeah.
But, Nick Bolton, for example, don't be surprised if he's a 1st-round pick, right? And I love Nick Bolton, man. I think Nick Bolton, he reminds me of someone like Darius Leonard. You know, the guy can play football.
Yeah.
If I was going to target a guy in like the 4th round that could maybe a difference maker for the Raiders, DeMar Hamlin from Pitt. I think DeMar Hamlin's a solid player.
Yep.
Jalen Twyman, defensive tackle from Pitt as well.
You can't miss, bro. Like you spitting. You can't miss right now, man. You on fire right now, bro. It's like NBA Jam and the hoop. You can't miss right now, bro. You killing it. You name it. You're naming all names that I can't refute none of those names, man.
Have you watched Vanderbilt defensive tackle Deo? I don't know how to say his last name. Like Odingingo.
Nobody know how to say it.
Okay. Have you watched?
I think I saw one highlight video of him when I was doing a mock draft really early in the process, but I haven't seen a lot of his stuff.
So I've been hearing from scouts that he might be the 2nd defensive tackle taken right after Christian Barmore.
Wow.
Wow. You know, so I watched his film, and he played a lot of defensive end at Vanderbilt in a 4-3, which I don't think that's like his natural fit. But don't be surprised if he ends up being the 2nd defensive tackle taken. I watched Ali McNeil, man, and and I hadn't put the effort into watching him. I watched him a long time ago.
That's my guy.
I literally rewatched him today, and why is it that he reminds me of Jonathan Hankins? Like, he reminds me exactly of Jonathan Hankins. Like, he will shut any sort of run down. You can't move him. But at the same time, he doesn't have that pass rushing skills, you know. So
So I got a question coming in from my executive producer. He's also my 10-year-old son. So we're talking about 3rd round picks, and I will tell you, me and him have had some mock draft challenges to see who would get the best grades. And I will say I lost to him. Okay. So this dude is not a novice, man. Okay. He's watching the lives every time we doing them, but he knows you're the guru. And he said that some of his 3rd round options could be these guys right here. He wants to know what you would think about that. He says one guy could be, I'm gonna just give you 4 guys he mentioned. He mentioned Jamar Johnson, Kendrick Green, I believe is guard from Illinois. Milton Williams is a DT, and Eric Stokes. He said, what do you think about any of those guys going in the third round?
So first and foremost, the only one I disagree with is Jamar Johnson because
he's going early.
I think he's going earlier. Milton Williams, I think he's okay. I think the same people that are saying Deo is the number 2 defense tackle said that he's the number 3 defensive tackle.
Yeah.
So ahead of like Davion Nixon and some of these other guys that are getting more hype. So if he goes in the third round, I think that would make sense. Eric Stokes, Georgia corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's ranked technically higher than Campbell, I believe. Maybe don't quote me on that, but I like Campbell more.
The outlet. I think the outlet, depending on.
Okay, exactly right, exactly. And I think Stokes is a good football player as well. I think Georgia has good corners on both sides. And the guard, I haven't watched him, so
he's a beast, bro. He's a beast.
What team is he on?
I think he plays Illinois. I think he plays guard and center. So like,
what's his name? His full name?
His name is Kendrick Green. Kendrick Green. So like, he's pretty solid. I got a super chat coming in from Mike. Appreciate the donation. You two are my can't miss YouTube pundits. I want to support what gives me so much greater joy. How important to you is drafting people to replace highly paid players like Littleton? Honestly, that's not something I really think about. I really don't think about replacing. I haven't been in this game long enough to be thinking about contracts and salary cap, and I just think about production on the field. That's all I want to replace at this point for me. I just want to replace production by more production. That's it for me.
So yeah, I definitely appreciate the super chat. I appreciate the comment as well. First and foremost, we're paying Littleton, right? Littleton went to what was on the Rams. The Rams have a good defense, and they get rid of players and they replace that talent. And we're the type of team that pays to get those players that other teams are just getting rid of, reducing, and they throw them to the side and they replace them. The Steelers do it. They've been doing it. The Ravens do it. They've been doing it. And now the Rams are doing it on their defense. The Raiders need to build like that, man. We need to stop overpaying for players like Joyner and Corey Littleton. And we need to hit on our drafts, right? And keep our own players.
Yeah. I agree with you. Somebody said that nobody wants to talk about how bad Greg Olsen is. I don't think we know how bad Greg Olsen is because does anybody really know what the hell Greg Olsen does? I think all he does is go to Walmart and buy like Dax hair gel, and that's it. I don't know anything else that he can possibly do. He doesn't call any plays. When he wears the microphone, it's always up, so he's never talking to nobody. So I don't know what he does, man. I don't know what he does. I really don't.
I have no idea what Greg Olsen actually does, right? I mean, I'm sure he works with the quarterbacks. I'm sure he puts some schemes in, but at the end of the day, it's John Gruden that's really Could you imagine Greg Olsen saying, "Hey, John, I think you're wrong with what you're trying to do here"?
Hell no. He's like, yo, I cut your checks, right? Then I'm right. Like, period. I think that's it, man. I think he might talk a little in practice more. I think John Gruden's the type of guy that walks around a lot. So when John Gruden walks away, I think that he might get to say some things. Yeah. But I'm not sure, man. G. Rich said, why is nobody talking about Darius Washington? He's a rangy free safety. Oh, that super chat just disappeared. I don't know where that thing went. But here we go. I got you. I found you. Free safety, and that's what we need. What round you think he goes in? Well, first of all, I will be fair and say that Darius Washington is in my top 5 safeties in this draft. I think if Darius Washington was 6'2", he'd be the best safety in this draft. I've already said that. But considering that Carl Joseph is only 5'10", Abram is 6'1", 6'2", and Darius Washington is 5'8", it's kind of weird to call him rangy when he's only 5'8". Like, you know what I mean? So, like, to me, his side, like, he's not a Bob Sanders because Bob Sanders was 5'8", 5'9", but he would come up and put your lights out. I don't think that that's the type of player Darius is going to be. I think he's a great safety. I think he has good mechanics. He also ran a little slow. I think he only ran like a 4.6. I just think his physical limitations is why we're not talking about him. Not his skills. He has all the skills to pay the bills, but I think physically he's limited. But I do think he's probably going to be a third-round safety.
It's crazy because TCU has 2 good safeties, and it seems like even with Indiana, like they have 2 good safeties too, right? It's like these teams that have, if it's not one, they always have 2 good safeties, right?
Yeah.
I think Washington's a solid football player as well. I think he definitely goes in the top 4 rounds. And I think he's definitely a NFL starter. I don't know if he's like an All-Pro or Pro Bowl player, but he's definitely a starter. Again, 95% of players in the NFL are 4 to 5 years, and then they're out of league. And I'm sure Washington at the very least can do that.
Yeah. I think Washington's going to be a great player. He needs to be put in a perfect situation, though. Like it has to be a scheme for him. I just don't think our scheme is what works for him, but he's still great at a top 5 for me. AC Everett said Washington only ran a 4.6. So yeah, and he's only 5'8", 178. Like if you're taking that in the NFL, yo, sign me up for a tryout. Like if I'm not saying I'm as good as him, but damn, if 5'8", 178 gets me anywhere close to the field, yo, sign me up. Jack, appreciate the donation. Position only. By position only, let us know each round would you take. All right, well, I've already said this plenty of times. For me, I would go free safety. You said timeout? Oh, my bad. You froze a little bit. My bad. Okay. I would go free safety, right tackle, linebacker, cornerback, and then maybe at 162, 167, I'll start looking for a guard. That's what I would do, unless a guard falls to me at 79, 80, something like that. That's what I would do.
Yeah, so I would probably take a safety first as well. I take a tackle second. I would take a receiver in the third, as well as I would even maybe double up on that offense tackle and take another one in the third. We did that with Colton and Brandon Parker just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I think we need to get not only a starting right tackle, but we need a swing tackle, right? And worst case scenario, you get 2 good tackles, you move one to guard. I think we need to hit on a linebacker as well. And possibly you're right? Maybe we get another guard. But at the same time, we do have John Simpson. We do have Denzel Good. Who knows what he plays? Nick Martin, I think, ultimately will be the backup center. And then we do have Lester Cotton as well, who I love that 1 point, man. Coming out of Alabama, I really, really like this game. I'm actually really pumped up to see where he's at in his development. Yeah. He was a good player at Alabama. So I think he's a player that some people might be sleeping on.
Yeah, I agree. All good shit right there, man. All good stuff. Let me see. Mondo says, what up, though, Honcho Sanjit? I'm just going to read off a couple comments, man. People been in here so long, man. We still 372 in here. Appreciate all of y'all. 24 hours of anxiety. Nah, man, guys, you got to just relax, man. Yo, got to just relax. King Savage said, Merrick better be pick 17. So I got a question for you, Sanjit. I got a question for you. I'm gonna stage it like this. The Raiders win the draft if ... And I want you to answer that.
The Raiders win the draft if they get themselves, in my opinion, they get themselves 3 starting caliber players, specifically on the defense, right? And I know that's tough to do because we don't need 3 starters, right? Like our defense we need our players to take the next step, right? But I think we do need a true starting free safety. I think at the same time, we still need a slot corner because no one's told me who our starting slot corner is going to be, right? Is it going to be Amik Robertson? I don't know because Paul Gunther's not here no more. So I don't know if that's still, what we're trying to develop him to be. At the same time, I won't stop saying it, man, until we get a pass rushing defensive tackle, until Kendall Vickers gets 6, 7, 8 sacks and is getting that consistent pressure. We need a defensive tackle too, man. Honestly, if we're somehow able to get Christian Barmore with the 17th and Jamar Johnson with pick 48, you can trade the rest of the picks away or donate them to charity. I don't care. Those 2 guys, man, that's all I need right there.
So you heard it here. Sanjit will be totally fine if the Raiders come out of this draft with 3 quality starters. And you know what? I don't disagree with that. Only thing I would add to that is I would also think that if we come out of here with a starter in the secondary, I also think, and a starter on that offensive line, I would love to see that. But I also need some depth at linebacker. That's all. I just need, if we leave this draft and we took like 3 jokers that might run wildcat and might do this and that, I would be upset. I think we definitely need some depth at linebacker that can like cover sideline to sideline. When I say cover, I don't mean guard guys. I mean, just cover the field. Last year was like a guy would run. Remember the New England game? They would run a sweep and like our backers couldn't even get to the damn edge. It was like
they ran the same play like 7 straight times and we couldn't stop it.
Me as a defensive coach, like I was disgusted with that game more than any other game.
Yeah,
do you see any late round wide receiver options for the Raiders?
Any late round wide receivers?
Have you checked out Jonathan Adams yet, man, from Arkansas State?
I have not.
Check him out, man. Check him out, man. Do that for me. Do that one for me, man. Check him out. He's about 6'3". He has good catch radius. I mean, somebody on the goal line who can go up for passes. Almost like a Julio Jones-esque type of player. He does run a 4.5, but I think he might not play at that speed. But from 20 yards and in, man, that might be a guy that you might want to take a look at in the 6th round, man.
I'm gonna definitely check him out. I will say this though, with like wide receivers specifically, most superstar wide receivers are taken in the top 60 picks, right? Yeah. Most superstar wide receivers, only a handful of guys will ever get past that will become those top tier receivers. On the other hand, you can get offensive tackles later on, right? Orlando Brown Jr., David Bakhtiari, those guys are 3rd and 4th round picks. You can get those type of guys later on in the draft. Wide receivers, if you want a good one, you take one early. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders took one on pick 17, man. Elijah Moore, Kadarius Toney, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith. You never know, man. Any of these guys can definitely fall. 3 receivers got taken last year, but the first one or 3 in the right after we took a receiver. We took one with 12, then you get another one with Jerry Jeudy, and then CeeDee Lamb with 17, right?
Yeah.
So again, don't be surprised. And I think 7 receivers went in the top 33 last year.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen again, man. Nah. I don't think teams value receivers as high, and that's a big investment, man. A 1st round pick.
Well, and you know what, too? I think Tampa Bay kind of gave the blueprint of how to beat the Chiefs at a time when they looked unstoppable. And I think a fast, aggressive defense I think that's what's going to be targeted in this draft, in my opinion. And when you think of how deep this draft is with linebacker, and I think secondary is deeper than people think. I agree.
I totally agree.
I think safety is deep, and I think cornerback is extremely deep this year.
Absolutely.
And so I just think that's where the NFL is going, and that's why I do think a lot of receivers can be available. But I just want the Raiders to stay on point and stay on task of we have to build this defense, man. We have to build this defense.
Well, here's another thing, right? Like, yeah, the Buccaneers, they dominated the Chiefs, right? Like, they dominated the Chiefs.
Absolutely.
But, you look at like Antonio Winfield Jr., and I'm not saying he's a bad football player, right? But he's being overrated. At the end of the day, you're like the 10th best player on that defense, right? You look at how many great defensive linemen those guys have. They have 2 stud linebackers. They have a corner. Maybe not the 10th best, but he's definitely not the best player on that defense, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think he's the best safety taken last year in the draft, right? So again, that's why I say Christian Barmore, right? You win on the O-line and defensive line. That's how you win, right? You win by building that line, right? So yeah, I feel like you're right. The Buccaneers definitely showed how to beat the Chiefs. What's interesting is the Raiders did the complete opposite of what the Buccaneers did, right? The Buccaneers got after Patrick Mahomes. We only rushed 3 guys, right? We just played coverage. In a sense, the Buccaneers kind of only rushed 4 guys, and maybe they brought that extra 5th linebacker, but they were able to get pressure because that D-line's just it's a good D-line,
Yeah.
How do you feel though about because obviously the truth is the Chiefs and Chargers, the Broncos are going to continue to suck, right? Factually, we're going to be competing with the Chiefs and the Chargers. The Chiefs have rebuilt that offensive line, right? Orlando Brown Jr., Joe Thuney is an all-pro left guard. I don't know if they have Clutch Yosemite still. I'm going to assume they do. You look at that offensive lineman, and then the Chargers, obviously, they're a good roster. They're a quarterback away. They got their quarterback, right? Justin Herbert might be a top-tier quarterback. We'll obviously find out this year.
Yep.
What do you think? Like, how are we going to beat those teams?
I think that when you bring up the point that the Raiders kind of sat back in coverage and only rushed a few guys, I think that speaks to the point for me of trying to play that bend but don't break style of defense, giving up plays but don't let them score, maybe just give up field goals. And I think you have to play like that if you don't have the dogs in the secondary backfield to go take chances and blitz that quarterback. Because if he breaks contain and he lets one loose, you don't have the guys back to the cover. Remember what happened against the Chiefs in that late game? We're up with 1:40 left and he broke containment and they let one loose and we blew a coverage. That's my whole reasoning why I think secondary is such a priority in this draft, because you get a safety. I'm not saying it has to be Trayvon Merrick, but let's say you get a safety that can ball out. You get a slot corner that can ball out. Now you can put some trust in that secondary and say, look, y'all going to have to strap up because we're going to send some heat on this guy. Just like the Bucs did. We're going to send some heat on this guy, but y'all got to be able to cover. Maybe not for 10 seconds, but for 4 to 6 seconds, you got to be able to cover downfield. And I think the fact that we lacked that last year really changed what we could call and what we couldn't call when it comes to that defensive front. That's just my opinion.
No, I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree with you. It's crazy because like Gus Bradley's system and his scheme, and he's gonna stop the run. Right. And I don't know how is that like when Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes, they don't care to run the ball. Yeah. They're going to throw the ball. Right. And, having just one deep safety, like one guy misses a tackle, right? Arnett, Mullen misses a tackle. How many guys are going to be back there to clean that up? Yeah. So it's definitely going to be an interesting season.
Yeah, and I think that's why you bring in Carl Joseph, and in case you do want to go too high at some points or walk a guy down and then have him bail on cadence. I think that you're going to need that lightning and thunder back there, and that's why I think Trayvon Merrick fits so well with the lightning side of it, and he's not afraid to hit. Let's not get it twisted. This guy is a 6'2", 200-pound safety that will come up and hit you. He takes bad angles at times, but I mean, he's a kid, right? Give him some pro coaching. I think he'll be all right. But having Carl Joseph, what I will give him credit for is that man can tackle. Mm-hmm. That man can make tackles. So I do feel like if you are going to play that single high safety and you're stuck with, an 8-man front, and Carl Joseph is kind of that extra linebacker in there, I do feel like he's going to make a world of a difference in making tackles in the open field that Abram just couldn't do yet, man. Abram looked terrible in open field tackling. Carl Joseph does not struggle there. I will give him that.
Absolutely. That is one thing that I loved about Carl Joseph is open field tackling, man. The guy's good at it.
Yeah. And you know what? I will tell you, from speaking from a former defensive back and a defensive back coach, that's not something everybody has. That's not something everybody has in their tool belt, is being able to break down from full speed and be able to break down and make tackles. It's not that easy to do. And the fact that he can do it, I do give him credits for that. Super chat from Roosevelt. Appreciate you. I need 2 late round Gruden's grinders from each of you guys. All right. Before I answer that, I keep seeing the same question in here saying, do you see Molden as a cornerback or a safety? I really think it depends what scheme he's in. If he goes to a team that has really good corners, he can play safety. But if he goes to a team that doesn't have really good corners, he's probably going to play slot corner. So I really think it's more dependent on where he goes. As far as 2 late round Gruden grinders, I got 2 guys that I can see going late in this draft. And then one of them I talked about before. I don't know if it fits a need for us. I don't know if we're going to get him or if this position will be filled already. But I really like Caden Stearns, free safety from Texas. 6'1", 200 pounds. I just think he's a guy that just plays football. There's certain guys that look the part, and there's certain guys that just play the part. And I think Caden Stearns is one of those real solid football players. And another guy that can go late is, I think, and I don't know if Sanjit, you have much information on this guy. It's not somebody that's been talked about a lot, but I like Jordan Smith, edge rusher from UAB. I just think he's one of those down and dirty, let's just play football type of guys. And I think when you talk about Gruden's grinders, I think those type of guys are people that they just want to come and play football. Don't care how pretty they look, what their uniform looks like. Let's just go get it done. I think those are 2 guys that I definitely can see falling into that role. Who you got?
So I mean, there's a couple of good players that I think we could get in the late rounds. I don't know what this guy's stock is. Obviously, we talked about it, I guess, just a little while ago. Brandon Hymas from Nebraska. When I watch an offensive lineman, just from the eye test, sometimes you can just tell that this guy, from just the mental processing of how a guy's playing on the defensive side and what he does, his in-game processing of just how everything's happening in a play. This guy has it, man. I remember making the same statement with Orlando Brown Jr. People were killing him because of his combine, right? I think he had like 14 bench press
Yeah.
reps. He ran like a 6.5 or some shit, like
yeah.
really slow 40. And people were killing him. And I was like, man, this guy has and I said it. You can see the video. It's one of my first film studies I ever made. I said, this guy has Hall of Fame potential. And today you look at that guy and you're like, damn, this guy's good. This guy's real good.
Yeah.
Brandon Hymas is that guy for me, right? I think he's going to be one of those guys that he's just the difference maker, man.
Yeah.
As far as
that's a really good pick, bro. But that's a really good pick, man. For real.
Yeah, absolutely. Another player that I really, really like is the defensive tackle from Vanderbilt, Deo Ogden. Whatever.
Yep.
You know, when I watch a defensive tackle, I don't care how good they are against the run. It's irrelevant to me because that's not every defensive tackle will learn how to play the run. Yep. Right. What matters to me is how they use their hands. Are they able to swipe, rip, swim? You know, what kind of technique do they use when linemen are stretching to the outside? I want to see all these different things. And he just looks like he just knows how to use his hands, right?
Yeah.
Tommy Tagai from Ohio State, I think could be another good defensive tackle. Yeah, man, there's some good players out there, I think, that we can get in later rounds.
And you know what? That's why I've been hearing a lot about the Raiders don't need 8 rookies. We don't need 8 rookies. We got 8 picks, trade them. We don't need 8 rookies. I don't disagree with that. We might not need 8 rookies this season, but they're not going to be 8 rookies next year, right? They're going to be second-year players. And if you can stock that, sometimes when you go shopping and you might only need a loaf of bread, but you get that extra loaf to put in the freezer, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might not need it this week for dinner, but you're going to need that bread next week. And I think that's what the Raiders need to start looking at. It's not just this draft, guys. This draft is setting up our next draft, which is set up our next draft. And that way, every year, we're not starting from ground zero. I remember when I was a wrestler, my coach said this, that we're not trying to rebuild. We're trying to reload, right? We don't want to have to rebuild every year. We just want to reload on what we have. And I think that it starts with drafts where you take 8 guys and turn 4 of them into instant players. And then those other 4 next year become players. And that way you just reload. You don't want to rebuild every season, man.
Another player, and I know you know who this is, Divine Diablo from Virginia Tech. I think the guy is going to be a good player as well in the later rounds, depending on where he goes. Yeah,
I actually have him as my number 8 best safety in this draft. So yeah, I'm pretty high on him too.
Okay.
We got Kenny. I know you got to get ready to go, man. So I'm gonna just finish up with some questions. We got Kenny here. Appreciate the donation. Broncos just nabbed Bridgewater. Is this the most competitive division? I thought it was a pretty competitive division without Bridgewater. I don't think Bridgewater makes it more competitive. It's hard to say if it's the most competitive. I mean, it's a pretty good division, man. I mean, when you talk about the Chargers on the come up, you talk about the Chiefs being what they are, and the Raiders are not slouches. The Raiders have one of those teams that can beat any team on any Sunday, whether they do it or not. It's different, but the Raiders are one of those teams that can beat any team. So when you think about the Raiders being where they are, Denver's defense alone is pretty tough, and then the Chargers and the Chiefs, I think you would definitely say it's got to be one of the most competitive divisions.
Definitely. I totally agree, man. I couldn't agree with you more. But as far as getting Bridgewater, like, is that an upgrade over Drew Lock? I don't really know, right?
Probably just off of Lock is terrible, bro.
Lock, yeah. I mean, he's not that good, but he was just in his second year, right? So, but obviously the Broncos are ready to move on. So I guess that's
So yeah, let me just run through a couple of these chat questions and see if you can get them any. Somebody said J33, love your analogies, Honcho. Yeah, I don't know, man. They just be, I just do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my gut has been saying Darisaw is going to go 17 since Mayock talked to the media. And I want to ask you, not just about the Darisaw, but do you put any credence into what Mayock is saying in a pre-draft press conference, man? Or is it cap?
So I think what he says, he's trying to take your attention away from what he's actually going to do. Yeah. When he says we have our future right tackle, I think he's saying that we're going to take a right tackle, or we're going to get a tackle or a guard or something like that. But as far as him, saying something to the media, I don't think it matters. Plus, at the end of the day, like, you have your board, right? If you have 4 offense tackles going in the first round and no other first round offense tackle, and all your offense tackles are gone, you're not going to take your 5th offense tackle if you have a second round grade on him, right? You're going to go ahead and just move forward and say, let me just get a safety or a linebacker or a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Or at least I hope that's what they do, right? I hope they're not reaching.
Yeah, see, and the thing about me, I would be mad if I waited all this time and I do the draft shows and I'm answering questions and our first pick is Darisaw or a lineman. Not because they're not good, but even when you think about how good Colton Miller is now, he wasn't that when we took him.
Yeah.
It took some time, and I don't think the Raiders are at the point where they need to pick a project at 17. I know it sounds boring and all that. We don't need a project at 17. We need a plug in and play right now type of guy.
But you got to keep in mind though, that draft, the tackle class was much weaker in that draft, right?
Yeah.
What's happening now is offensive linemen, the good ones, they don't want to play guard. They don't want to play center anymore. Yeah. High school players know tackle is where the money's being made. So you have the best athletes coming out playing tackle, right? Like you look at Quentin Nelson, he could play tackle, right? And he should have played tackle because he'd be the best tackle or one of the best tackles, and he would be getting paid as an offensive tackle. I think the Colts just picked his fifth-year option up. What's he going to get? $8 million, right? Or how much ever it's going to be. The guy could be getting $23 million if he was an offensive tackle. With that, I do have a feeling that Christian Darisaw is going to be our pick, man. I have a feeling that he's going to be the guy.
Don't say that to me, man. That's
he's a good football player, though. He's a good football
man.
player.
I just talked about this being Christmas Eve, and tomorrow we're gonna have presents under the tree. Now it's Christmas Eve, and you just told me I'm about to get a pack of socks for Christmas. Yeah, I know I need socks. I know I need to have socks on my feet, and I need it in the cold weather. But don't tell me that's what you get me on Christmas, man. No, I don't want a pair of socks.
No, I do. I think Christian Darisaw is going to be a real good. He's a plug. He's pro ready. Put it that way, right? You have 4 offensive tackles that are 100% pro ready, and they're going to start. You look at like Austin Jackson, right? I don't think he was a first round pick last year. He was a tackle from USC.
Yep.
I don't think he was a first round pick. Don't quote me on that. But he started for the Dolphins. But a tackle is a position that you want a guy to just start, and you don't want to think twice about it.
Yeah.
Right. And I know Colton Miller was not that guy, but that class was also weak. Yeah. Right. Other than Mike McGlinchey, the rest of the class was kind of weak. So
well, I think. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I think the draft class is much better this year. So.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? Whenever I disagree with Sanjit about something, if he wants me to just agree with him, all he has to say is pro ready. Whenever he says pro ready, I'm like, all right, you know what? If he's pro ready, then we should take him. Raid the tape, man. I'm gonna let you answer this last question before you get out of here. Appreciate the donation. Raid the tape. Is Jock a linebacker or a DB? If linebacker, can he get off NFL O-line blocks and rush the QB? Or if DB, what DB spot or both? Let him know.
That's a great question, man. I said this a little bit earlier. DG, I don't know if you're on at the time when I said this, but I could see Jock slipping into the second round. Now, will that actually happen? Probably not, right? But I could see it happening. And the reason why is because I don't think Jock is an inside linebacker. You look at Devon White, for example, he was an inside linebacker. And I think if you're going to take a linebacker in the first round, you're only taking an inside linebacker that's a difference maker. And I think there's 2 guys that are inside linebackers in this class that are difference makers. And it's not Jock. In my opinion, is Jamin Davis and Micah Parsons. Those guys, if you're playing dime defense or quarters, if you're playing dime or quarters, especially quarters, right? Because you're going to have 3 defensive linemen. You're going to have a linebacker and most likely like a safety in there in the box. You want your linebacker to be able to beat a guard or center, whoever's coming to block him. And I don't think Jock can do that. At least from what I've watched, I haven't seen him line up on the inside and beat blocks. I see him coming off the edge and smacking a running back. Great. I see him doing that. I see him tackling a receiver out in the open field. Great. But that's not an inside linebacker. That's an outside linebacker. And outside linebackers don't play on nickel or quarters. And that's where the NFL's headed, in my opinion, right? And I don't think Jock's a defensive back. I mean, maybe he's a strong safety. Like he plays in the slot as a strong safety. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't think he's a strong safety. I don't think he's a DB at all. I just don't see that. I think he's just an undersized linebacker. But he's like one of those linebackers that you have to hide. He's not somebody who you can just have out there and be like the guy. Like he's interior linebacker. He's forcing, he's spilling, he's scraping. He's not that guy.
Yep.
And that's why I love a Zaven Collins, because he's big enough to do that, fast enough to do that as well. Jamin Davis, same thing. I think the thing about Jock that makes him so intriguing is he's an enigma. Not that we don't know what position he's gonna play. You just feel like he's a playmaker. You feel like he's a playmaker. But the thing is playmakers thrive in college football. Playmakers get exposed in the NFL if you don't have the prototypical size to make the plays. It's a different thing to have those college linemen that might not all be first, second, third round talent coming at you, and you can out scheme them, outsmart them, out intellect them. But in the NFL, man, these guys are top tier, upper echelon players. And if you don't have some of the physical attributes, you're just not going to survive there. And like you said, as an interior linebacker, I just don't see him surviving there. But as an overall playmaker, I think he's the Kenyon Drake of our defense, right? Like, he's not really a number one running back. He's not a wide receiver, but we feel like we can find somewhere for him to make a play. And I think that's what Jock would be on defense. You'll find somewhere for him to make a play, but I don't know if it's in your roster book linebacker or DB.
So let me ask you a question, a follow-up question on that. Jock's, and don't quote me, I think he's like, what, 210, 250 pounds? Like, he's not like 240, right? He's not, that's not him. At that weight, is he fast? Because he's not big enough to be an inside linebacker. Is he fast enough to be a slot corner or a strong safety in a split safety look? Or I mean, is he fast enough to do that, right? And that's the question.
I think he's fast enough to do that in college.
In college, exactly.
He's not fast enough to do that because it's not about speed. It's the technique. If the wide receiver doesn't have to be faster than you, if he has better technique than you, he's going to beat you. He knows where he's going and you don't. So your technique has to be better than his to keep up with him if the speed ain't.
There's a reason why Hunter Renfrow is making a living playing in the NFL.
My point exactly. I don't think Jock can cover Renfrow, even though he's faster than him.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
so I don't know about that. But I will say I might feel more comfortable with Jock on the field than Tanner Muse.
I totally agree.
Right. So there's always a silver lining in all the stuff we talk about. All right. So your man Payson said he has last question. He says last question, but it's a damn paragraph. We appreciate the donation, man. Thank you so much to everybody that's donated. We're still 350 deep in here. Appreciate all of y'all. Talk a little bit about Jaylen Holland. Seems like he can play the slot, free safety, and strong at a high level. MJD calls him the best defensive player in the draft. Second round for us, perhaps. I will tell you, I'm not that high on Jaylen Holland. He reminds me a little bit about Jock. Like, I think he's a playmaker in college. I don't know if he's going to come onto the NFL scene and have everything it takes. He has tight hips to me. He doesn't have recovery speed, which to me is like a number one thing I look for in corners. I look for length and recovery speed. And he doesn't really have either or for me. I think he's about 6'1", 6'2", but he doesn't have the recovery speed for me. He doesn't have the hips. I definitely don't see him playing strong safety. I think free safety he could play, but if Jaylen Ramsey's his corner, I don't want him at free safety if our corners are Arnett and Mullen. That's what it is for me. I don't know if he's on that level to where I feel confident with those are my three DBs, Arnett, Mullen, and Holland. I think there might be somebody better there for me.
Yeah, I don't know if he's, if you want a slot corner, go get Aaron Robinson, go get Elijah Molden, who I think is a better player than Jaylen Holland.
Absolutely.
Go get one of these guys. If you want a free safety, go get Jamar Johnson, go get Trayvon Merritt, go get Tyree Gillespie. If you want, again, I'm not a big fan of Jaylen Holland, man. I don't know where he lines up as a pro. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to be a bust, right? I'm not saying that at all. I think he'll be a perfectly fine football player. But at the end of the day, fit matters. And if you're going to take a player in the second round, he better be able to play whatever position you want him to play day one. It better not be an Amik Robertson situation where he's trying to learn the run fits and he's trying to learn how to play slot. I want a starter or a guy that knows what he's doing with the second round pick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this goes back, like when you say he can play free safety, he can play slot, he can play strong safety. It's just like Jock in a sense. I don't want a bunch of jack of all trades, master of none. I want a guy for the position I need. If I want a safety, go get the best safety I can get. Not a guy who can kind of play safety on Wednesdays, but on Thursdays he's better at corner. And I don't want that. You know what I mean? And like my man Sun Joku just said, who I ain't seen him in a minute up in here, but like Sun Joku said, Molden is the best nickel in the draft. So when you're talking about a versatile guy and a jack of all trades, but you want a guy for a certain position, if you want a nickel corner, Elijah Molden is the best nickel in this draft. And the second guy, I know you like Aaron Robinson, but I like Trill. Is it Trill Williams? Is it Trill? I like Trill Williams because I think not only is he a great slot corner, I think he has like his range and his length is just crazy for that position. But yeah, Sunjoku, appreciate you in here, man. I hit you up on Twitter, man. Check that out and hit me back, yo. But appreciate you coming in the chat, man. Always a pleasure to have somebody like you in here. But yeah, man, I think that I'll leave you on one last question. One last question, man. Not even a question, a prediction, man. What is your final prediction of who or what we take at 17? Who or what we take at 17? Final prediction right here, man.
So if I was going to be 100% honest, I think the Raiders are going to end up taking an offensive tackle with pick 17.
Oh, no. Don't do that to me, man. Don't do that to me.
I think that's what's going to end up happening, man. I hope you'll be all right when that happens.
I won't be all right. I won't be all right because I've been putting a lot of stuff into this damn draft. And there's other offensive tackles we get because I just don't think our offensive line is that bad. I don't think our offensive line is that bad that we have to go offensive tackle in the first. I think we got to go defense in the first, whether it's a linebacker or except the corner. I wouldn't want a corner in the first. But that's it, man.
And just to make a last statement, right? I don't think our offensive line is that bad either. I don't think that. But here's the thing, right? We struggled running the ball last year, running the football. I feel like part of why we struggled running the football was because we didn't have linemen that could block people to make those lanes, right? Open up holes and do that kind of stuff. Christian Darrisaw, Tevin Jenkins. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think we're going to get any of those four guys. I think the top four are going to be gone. I think we're going to end up getting someone like Jalen Mayfield or Samuel Cosme with the 17th pick.
So then you're anticipating what? The Chargers going offensive lineman, the Giants going offensive lineman? Because outside of the first four, you got to think it's going to be a quarterback. I think the Panthers, I mean, who else is going to take linemen before us that you don't think we can get Jenkins or Cosme? Or are you saying we can get them, just not that we can get them later?
So this is I think the Falcons are going to end up taking an offensive tackle. I think the Falcons
hell no.
Sewell, because they just signed Matt Stafford and they're stuck with them for 2 years. So I do think the Falcons are going to take an offensive tackle. I think the Cincinnati Bengals would be wise to take an offensive tackle, but they might not have to, right? They could go ahead and just take Jamar Chase, pair him up with Joe Burrow. I think Philly could take an offensive tackle. I think Detroit's good on the O-line. I think the Denver Broncos are good on the O-line. The Panthers need a quarterback, so they have to take a quarterback, right? You just traded away the quarterback you had. I think the Cowboys could possibly take an offensive tackle, but I think they should take a corner. Yeah. The Chargers could take an offensive tackle. The Minnesota Vikings, the Cardinals. I mean, like almost every.
We see this completely different, bro. It's so crazy, man. That's what's fascinating about this. Like, I think the Falcons are going to take Pitts. I think the Falcons are going to take Pitts or Surtain at 4.
Why'd you take Pitts, though? You already have Calvin Ridley, you already have Julio Jones, and you already have Hayden Hurst.
You have Julio Jones right now. I don't know you're going to have Julio Jones later.
That's a good,
you know what I'm saying? And I definitely see the Eagles. The Eagles better go and get them a wide receiver. I think the Eagles go wide receiver. I think Bengals will go offensive line. I think Chargers go offensive line. Miami, I don't see go offensive line. So I think Jenkins is going to fall in our lap, man. I think Tevin Jenkins is going to fall right to us at 17, and so will Merrick, and Jock will be there, and Parsons might be there. And then it's going to be fun.
I mean, if those guys are there and we don't take Parsons, man, my live stream might end right then and there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be good, man. But yo, I just want to let you know, man, it's always a pleasure to have you on here. I appreciate you making some time for me, man. And the chat really loves it, man. We're still 370 deep in here right now, so we definitely appreciate y'all. But yeah, man, good stuff as always, man. Again, thank you for coming on and just speaking that knowledge, man, and that stuff. You put your work in, you put the effort in, you put the time in, and it really shows. And you know what I mean? I'm just happy that you were able to come on here and we got some time in together, man, and gave the people some answers to their questions, man, because we all got questions. None of us really know the answers, but we try our best to give you what we think is possibilities, man. So I appreciate you for coming on, bro.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for setting this up and you know, us being able to talk. I do look forward, man, to going live with you more often, like for real.
Yeah.
So I think you're a real smart guy. You understand football. You know, obviously know what you're talking about. And you're right, man. People do enjoy it. I see all the comments. I read all the live chats and all that stuff. And also, I know that people left super chats on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
I will be. I'll try to answer those, man. Maybe I'll give my little cousins $100 to write all those super chats down or something, so I can answer all those. For
$100, shit, give me $100. I write them down. But yeah, definitely. I definitely got to get on your channel, man. I seen Simone Raider just popped in here. I think it's the real Simone Raider. I'm not sure, but shout out to him. But yeah, man, I got to get on your channel, man. So we got to do this either post draft, during draft, whatever the case may be. But I definitely want to get on your channel, man, and return the favor, man, for sure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I really appreciate it. And yeah, man, I hope everybody enjoys the draft. I hope you enjoy the draft as well. So that'll be fun, man. We'll definitely catch up right after the draft for sure.
For sure. So I know you about to sign up. I'm gonna just let them know. I'm gonna stay on for a couple more minutes, try to answer. I got about 10 minutes left before 9 o'clock, and I gotta get my son ready to go to bed for school and stuff. So I got 10 more minutes. But yeah, man, Sanjit, appreciate you, man. Be safe.
Absolutely. And thank your son, man, for helping with the stream and having everything. And a smart guy, man. He has some good picks and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, dog.
All right, man. Peace.
Yep. You know what it is. You know where it is. You know what it is. Yo, we got the draft tomorrow. I got 10 minutes, man. If you got some questions, get them in here, man, for sure. Once again, man, appreciate Sanjit for coming on. Shout out to Docs. I know he was in the chat. He's out there in Cleveland. Support whatever he got going on. He ain't even got to tell me what it is. Whatever he got going on, you go support that. He out there holding it down for the whole nation. But I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for all y'all. We have 400 plus people in here. I appreciate every one of y'all for coming through, man. This is my first draft experience. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I appreciate it. King LA, you and Doc still good? What you mean? Why everybody saying it's me and Graphic still good? What happened? What happened, bro? Something happened I don't know about? That's my guy. Because you ain't seen me on his channel for a while. I want Merrick at 17. Honestly. I want Merrick at 17. What time tomorrow? What time tomorrow for what? Somebody said, damn, that shit just went. What am I missing? Honcho, do you think we've got a good linebacking core? Nah, not yet. I like Kwiatkowski though. I do like Kwiatkowski. I think we got to add a couple more linebackers. I'm still going live tomorrow. I'm actually co-hosting. I'm actually co-hosting a draftathon with Simone Raider on Simone Raider's channel. So I will be live on there. We got some people coming in answering questions. I'm be co-hosting and I'm gonna be lit. I'm gonna be lit, bro. I'm gonna be drinking for the first time. Did you see report that the Raiders are among 3 teams that are eyeing Caleb Farley? The Raiders just say stuff like that, man. They capping. Big cap. Suave Honcho, good show. Shout out Sanjit. Simone Raider, appreciate you, man. You already know. Come on, what you thought? I only had t-shirts in the closet? Don't get it twisted, man. When I get the hair braided and faded, I put the shirts on. Who was calling somebody out? Who was calling someone out? I don't know what you're talking about. King LA, man, elaborate. What you talking about? Who do you think will fall? Who do I think will fall? I think Barmore might fall. But I don't know. I don't know who else will fall. I really don't know, man. It's to the point where I can't even like try to guess anymore. I just got to see what happened. Wait, what? Somebody said a fake account of you talk smack Graphic, but Graphic knew it wasn't you. Oh, that's wild, bro. Y'all corny for that. Docs, that's my guy, man. Don't even Panama Jack Honcho. You know the vibes, man. I'm just out here, yo. It's like 9 billion degrees in this room right now, yo. Like, cause today was like the first 85-degree day in Jersey, and like I still got the heat on. You know what I'm saying? Because last week it was 45 degrees, so it's like blazing hip hop and R&B in here right now. I got the lights on, crazy. Nah, me and Docs, come on. That would never be a situation. Looking like Honcho, Montana. You already know the vibes. Yeah, Honcho, I think you should check on Docs, bro. For real? What you mean? What you mean? Trade up for Lance? Nah, don't trade up for Lance. Don't trade up for a quarterback. We got a quarterback. You trade up for Lance, you bring him in. You didn't fix the offensive line, so then you bring Lance in with that, and then you don't have no defense. You bring in Lance. What are we talking about? You can't trade up for him. Can't trade up for him. Raider Andy, Honcho Escobar with the button up and necklace. You know the vibes, man. Sometimes the little necklace costs more than the big ones. You feel me? It ain't plated. That's solid. They capping Honcho. I repeat, what did he say? Who said that? Honcho sweating like Shaq and OT. Yo, it's hot in here, bro. It's mad hot. Docs is in Cleveland, bro. What are we talking about? They capping Honcho. I repeat, Honcho and Docs are cool. Yo, this is crazy, bro. Y'all got to stop it, man. Y'all got to stop it. Y'all got to stop it. They capping. I bet. If Samoan said they capping, then they capping, yo. I don't know what y'all talking about. But yeah, yo, we still 3:30 deep in here, man. Oh, don't think all this is sweat. This is the color of the shirt. I mean, I might be sweating a little bit, though. Honcho got the golfer gear. This ain't no golfer gear, man. What you talking about? This shirt costs more than a whole set of clubs. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, man. Don't get on here and try to go joke for joke, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because if you ever pull up to a game and see me in person, yo, I'm roasting. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, I am sweating. I am sweating. But some of it is just dark. If Mac Jones fall, use him for trade bait, you have to. You have to. Like I said, I'm sweating. Honcho Escobar, Honcho Sweatscobar. Shit. God damn, bro. God damn, producer, put the AC on. Yo, you ain't supposed to tell him we ain't got no AC, bro. We got the fan, man. Put that damn fan on, bro. I'm about to faint. I'm hungry, too. All right, man. Yo, I'm about to get up out of here, man. If y'all got any last-minute question, man, let me know. You got Mac Jones the first round. I think Mac Jones is going to get picked before Lance. Not Lance. Fields. And Lance, actually. Oh, that fan feel good. Oh, shit. Whew. Oh, shit. It's finna be lit tomorrow. Oh, you already know roast sesh. Look, if I see Bill, don't show your face, bro. Y'all might try to roast because y'all can see me, but I can't see you. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Hit up Docs, check on them. Stop playing, man. I'm off that. The evolution of Raider Honcho, Miami Honcho, Jersey Shore Honcho. It'll never be Jersey Shore Honcho. I don't swim. I don't go to the beach. Like, never. Never, bro. Never, Carlos. Don't do that to yourself. Get your ass blocked. Are you nervous Gruden will reach again? Nah. I'm not nervous that he's going to reach. Honcho, who you going? Oh, shit. Where'd it go? Phil's going to the Niners? I don't think so. I think Matt going to the Niners. That's what I think. You ran if we get a bad pick. If we get a bad pick, you're going to see something crazy. I'm going to go bananas. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, somebody said, yeah, come on, Raider tape. Jersey Shore Honcho. Don't laugh at that, bro. Don't laugh at these fools. Don't laugh at these fools, man. I don't get mad at the jokes. I get mad when people laugh at them. Don't laugh at the jokes, bro. Honcho, get SF taking Jones. Oh, you got SF taking Jones. 3. Damn, that shit disappeared. What you doing if we go Trey Lance? We're not going to go Trey Lance. Honcho, who you going with 17 if Trayvon Merrick ain't there? Not named Jaka Parsons? Zaven Collins? Zaven Collins? I don't think JC going to be there at 17. JC Horn? I don't want a corner. Do you like... I don't know what the hell that means, bro. We need a safety. We do need a safety. Honcho, our season may come down to Incognito's ankle. It's worse. It ain't his ankles, it's them Achilles. Honcho swag, Miami Vice looking T.I. Okay, Fresno County Watchdog. Let's see what you look like. You probably look like Tom Hanks. Who would you reach for at 17? Who would I reach for at 17? I don't know, man. I'm not. I wouldn't go Jabril. Tevin Jenkins. Tevin Jenkins might be a reach. Much love from San Jose. Appreciate you. He said Tom Hanks. Don't play with me, man. Why y'all get your feelings hurt? Horn or Sertan going to Dallas. Yeah, I think Barmar's going to go to Arizona. I think Barmar's going to Arizona.
Where do you think Farley's going?
Farley? I think Farley's going to go later. The Jets might take him at 34. Jets might take him at 34. Jamin Davis would be a reach at 17. Yes. What's good, big dog? Honcho Elbert. What's up, man? I'm about to get off of here. I look like Fred Biletnikoff. Oh, damn. That's somebody different, though. I wasn't even trying to say him. Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks. Yeah, Tom Hanks with the fade. That's what he looked like. Zayden Collins would be a reach at 17 to me. Yeah, but he said, who would you reach for? I said, that's why I said. If we take Merrick at 17, I would like to take Eichenberg or Stokes in the second. What about you? If we go Trayvon Merrick at 17, I would go Eichenberg at 48, and then I would probably go linebacker at 79 before I go corner. Because if we get a stud safety, don't forget we got Isaiah too. Honcho will reach for ankle socks. Nah, bro. Never that. I won't even reach for them when they on the rack. Chill out. It's hot in Cali. That's cool if it's hot. I don't care if it's hot. I don't see how wearing socks above your ankles makes it less hot. How are we going to react when the Raiders pick Caleb Farley? They're not going to pick Caleb Farley. If they pick Caleb Farley, I'm going to need a new laptop. Bro, appreciate donation, Raider Andy. Bro, Honcho, I can't wait till my son is older so that we can talk football, bro. Y'all two are father and son goals. Oh, appreciate that, man. Yeah, my son is a G, man. He was a little sick, man. We had to take him to the doctor, get some x-rays and stuff, man. He bounced back like, you know what I mean? He was like, I got to be here for the live tonight, bro. That's my guy, man. Straight up. Who are you higher on, Liam Eichenberg or Brady Christensen? Well, the thing about it is Eichenberg is graded higher. But if you can get, Eichenberg is graded higher, but if you can get Christensen later, then I would do that. My man said Barmore all day. Peace. I like that, yo. Just get in and get out, bro. What other free agents would you pursue? You already know, man. You already know the free agents I want. And at this point, it depends who we drafting. Depends who we're going to draft. Ankle socks don't give you that funny tan line. Bro, you think I'm worried about a tan line? What type of individual you think I am? What type of individual you think I am? You think I'm thugging and I'm worried about a tan line, bro? What's up, Honcho, Poncho, Bronco, Concho, Jerry George, 2 names. You know what? Stay right there. Stay right there. Bow! Headshot. Headshot. Oh, I missed. Oh, I bounced back, though. Headshot. Get your ass out of here, Jerry George. What's your middle name is another first name? What was his name? Jerry Samuel George? Yeah. Boy, if you don't get out of here, look like you eat mayonnaise sandwiches. Stop playing with me. Don't start that, Anthony. Don't start that Bronco Honcho stuff. I'm telling you right now, that shit ain't cute. That shit ain't cute. Honcho sniped him. I ain't playing. I used a sniper rifle, but I was still close up. That's how I missed, because, you know what I mean? My sights was a little off. But he tried to bounce. He tried to bounce through the comments. I caught him. He probably eating a mayonnaise sandwich right now with a Capri Sun. Yo, Docs. Yo, is this the real Docs? Yo, let it be known. Let it be known, Docs. Because they be doing some tomfoolery in here. What do you think about Stokes and that speed at corner? I think it's good. But what's more important than the speed is the scheme. It's the scheme, bro. It's the scheme. So a corner with speed is good, but if our scheme ain't sound, it ain't gonna matter how fast he is. You know what I mean? Like Trayvon Mullen is a good corner. He's not the fastest corner, but you know what I'm saying?
Do you think Milton Williams is ranked higher than he should be?
Milton Williams? My son just asked me if I think Milton Williams is overrated. Nah. Docs is faded right now. Be safe, bro. Be safe out there, man. But get faded. You feel me? Don't play with it. Get faded. Oh, nah, don't do my man like that. He in a 5-star telly. Yo, don't play with him like that. Talking about no bed bugs. Don't do that. Don't do that, bro. How would you feel about Parsons in the first and Grant in the second? I'm not high on Grant. I like Parsons, though. I still wouldn't pick him over Trayvon Merrick, though. I'm wasted. Yo, Docs, what's like, yo, when you announce that you wasted, like, that's a different level. Like, yo, you could be faded, you could be drunk, you could be bent, When you tell somebody that you wasted, bro, it's a wrap. GTA. It's a wrap. That's my guy, man. That's my guy. What do you think about Marvin Wilson in the 4th or 5th? I like Marvin Wilson. I think he's a little. Hold on. I think Marvin Wilson doesn't have the motor that I want. No, I'm not. Motel 1-star off the dribble. Wait, hold on. You're not in a 1-star motel, Docs. You're not. I know you're not. Stop playing. Don't play with them like that. What about Eric Stokes, Honcho? I already answered that. I like Eric Stokes, but there's other people I like more. Eric Stokes is my 8th best corner in this draft. He's my 8th best corner. You know, my son has him ranked 6th. I have him 8. You still high on Malik Hooker? I was never high on Malik Hooker. I was high on John Johnson and Anthony Harris. It's the real. No, it ain't. That ain't the real Docs. Docs, come on, bro. That ain't you. Not at a 1-star. Doc's about to have it hungover and going to sleep. Nah, Doc's gonna be straight. Doc's a real one. When you're a real one, you don't get hungover. You just be a little more tired the next day, but you bounce back. What video he took down? What's going on right now, yo? That's not the real Docs? I don't think it is, bro. I don't think it is. They played me some. My hotel looked like Sam Cassell. Oh, see, that sounds like something Docs would say because Docs is funny, yo, and he got bars. But Sam Cassell is one ugly motherfucker, man. Lord have mercy. One morning, I woke up and had to kill a bug in the bathroom, and he looked at me, looked just like Sam Cassell. I tried to talk to his ass. I'm like, yo, bro, where you been at? Damn, he's ugly. He removed his last live. Why? What happened? Blood, stop playing with me. Who playing with you? That might be him asking what's behind the door. That's odd. I don't know what's going on. He said his hotel looked like Sam Cassell. Yeah, that's trifling. That's trifling, bro. I don't got no people out there in Cleveland. I can't do nothing, but I could get on Priceline.com and try to find you somewhere better, bro. I was flashing on all y'all. What you mean? What you talking about, bro? Flashing on who? Not I. All right, man. I'm about to get up out of here. Honcho, Doc's hotel is bad. He did a live about it showing how bad it was. Damn. So wait, Docs, you in here right now saying you was wilding on me? Come on, fam. Don't do that. Don't do that. Sam Cassell look like E.T. No, Sam Cassell look like E.T. cousin. Because E.T. look, that's a whole different type of being. But yeah, man, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I got to get me some food, man. I'm hungry. I need to change my clothes, man. I'm out here wilding. So Docs was mad at everyone on his live, wilding on everybody. Fuck is you talking about? Why? You could have just hit me up. Is that why everybody's saying what is y'all? Yo, is that the real Doc show? Stop playing, yo. Nah, yo, that's my guy, man. Y'all ain't about to try to convince me otherwise, yo. That's my guy. Unless he say it, that's my guy. I don't know what y'all talking about. All right, man. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Yo, tomorrow, man, I'm going live. I'll be on Samoan's channel. He doing a draft-a-thon. We're gonna have some guests on there. I'll be co-hosting, and I'm gonna be super lit, bro. I'm gonna be super lit. So don't hold nothing against me, man. Whatever I say tomorrow, yo. You know what I'm saying? What you mean it was coming from a good place? Nah, we're gonna have to talk, bro. I'm gonna have to link you after this, bro. I need clarification. I don't know what that means. I don't wild out on nobody, but it be come from a good place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's up with that. I don't be on that type of time. But yeah, man, I'm about to get up out of here, man. Yo, tomorrow's the day, man. Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day. Hopefully it goes our way. Okay? That's what it is. So look, man, appreciate everybody who came out tonight. Appreciate Sanjit for coming through, doing what he do best. Max Raider, I'm so confused too. I don't know what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on, but I ain't gonna find out through this damn joint. I ain't gonna find out on this joint. So I got a phone. I can see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't fall for none of that fake internet chat beef or none of that. If somebody got pressure with me, they let me know. So Me and Docs is good. I don't know what y'all trying to do. But yeah, man, we out of here, man. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to my son for holding it down tonight. As usual, the lights is looking crispy. Camera looking crispy. He should have turned the fan on a little earlier, so I'd be looking more crispy. I probably lost about 6 pounds of water weight in here tonight. But tomorrow, it's all about tomorrow night and the Raiders, man. We're going to see what it really do. All right, so until the next time. Raider Honcho out.